It's time for Sports 56 Middays with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. The first hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by Action247.com. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I got a piece of land out in the countryside. Lay back and smell the sun. Warm up the Georgia pie. Feels so good to me. Taking it easy. Why would I ever leave? 'Cause I know I got some good friends.
Good Friday morning, everybody. Welcome into Sports 56 Middays. The weekend just about upon us. Got a spring game tonight on the football field at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium. And a lot going on in the world of sports. Hope your Friday is off to a terrific start. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Gabe Kuhn. We're in the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. First hour of the program is brought to you always by Action 24/7. It is the Friday, April 16th, 2021 edition of the show. Coming up on the program today, as I mentioned, the Tigers have their spring game tonight, Friday Night Stripes at Liberty Bowl Memorial Stadium, open to the public, 7 o'clock. There'll be some tailgating going on. And although it won't be completely like usual because fans are still not only encouraged, but they have to wear masks, and they still need to social distance themselves from each other in the stadium. You start to feel a little bit more like normal with the football and the fans and that going together because it does go hand in hand. That'll get going at 7 o'clock tonight. Stephen Johnson from the Daily Memphian, who covers Memphis Tigers football, will join us at 10:25 to talk more about the spring game. Later on in the show, Aaron Torres from Fox Sports at 12:05 on both spring football and college basketball, all the college basketball coaching moves that have been made. We'll get his thoughts on that. We are expected to be joined by Earl Timberlake at 12:30, one of the newest Memphis Tigers basketball players, the transfer from the University of Miami. We'll play 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation at 11:30, give you a chance to win a great prize package. And then we'll wrap it up for the week in our final moments before we hand things off to John Harden with one final thing. The Grizzlies start a long road trip tonight in Chicago. Lots to get to on the program. We always encourage you to be a part of the show. You can text in with any comments you have, questions, concerns. 70236, First Bank text line, 24/7, always available to you, 70236. And during open segments, you can call in on the First Bank phone line at 360-8255. How are you feeling today?
Man, I'm in a happy place right now. I am, sometimes, Greg, just the life just brings you something that just brightens your day, and it just, it makes life better.
So what is it?
That would be the Bobcat video.
The guy chucking the Bobcat?
It's one of the great videos. I don't generally like Twitter a whole lot, to be honest. Every once in a while, it just goes and redeems itself. And last night, when I saw that Bobcat video for the first time, I fell in love. I probably have watched it 200 times. I think I probably watched about 150 last night, and I've watched it probably another 50 times a day.
Jeez.
I can't get enough of it. There's a lot I want to figure out about it. I want to know how he was able to grab the Bobcat the way he did and lift it up like the baby over his head, first of all, I don't understand how he got to that point. Like, that's a impressive move to get to that point.
Without getting bit.
Yes. But then the two-handed toss is just, I could just watch that little 1 second portion of it, the two-handed toss, like makes me literally LOL every time I watch it.
So you don't have any idea. I need to tell you that is a new Olympic sport starting this summer in Tokyo.
It is.
The Bobcat throw. Gabe knew that.
I would be all for it. I mean, and that guy, I want him there because, first of all, I just can't even imagine. Like, can you imagine just walking out to your car in the morning? Like, you're bringing your coffee. He's like, I need to wash my car. And suddenly there's a Bobcat attacking your wife. Like, what? That is such a bizarre. I can't even imagine that you're coming out to the car, like, worried about how am I going to get this door open when I got all this stuff in my hand, so I got to set my coffee on the car. Next thing you know, you are fighting a Bobcat.
Where was that at? Do you know?
I have no idea. somewhere I don't ever want to live. That's what the only thing I know is I don't ever want to live there. If there's a chance that me walking to my car in the morning could lead to me having to chuck a bobcat, I don't want to live there.
Is that like a whack-a-mole at the carnival, chuck a bobcat? So who had the camera ready to go? Who had their phone ready to shoot this video?
It's a security camera, obviously.
Oh, that's where they got it off, the house, like the Ring or something like that. Okay. Yeah, I saw that video, and I was like, what is happening? Like, I didn't understand. I understood that he picked up this animal and threw it, but was it attacking? Like, I couldn't tell because there was 2 cars lined up. I saw where he put the coffee on the car, and
his wife starts screaming.
Like, I didn't have the audio up. I looked at the video.
She just starts screaming, and he's like, "What?" Like, and runs over there. And that thing, like, at first, the first time you watch it, you don't really know. You don't have a clue what it is because then she starts screaming. He goes over there. I thought it was just like a normal, like this, I don't know, rabid cat or something.
Right.
And he tosses it, and then you hear, "It's a bobcat. It's a bobcat. It attacked my wife." He's like, "I'll shoot the thing."
Jeez.
Yes.
I guess I need to watch it with the audio and listen with the audio.
When he tosses it at first, the kid, like, looks like he wants to go run after the bobcat. Like, oh, the poor cat. Like, oh, it's just, man, it is... I feel bad laughing, but I think everybody's okay. I think everybody was okay.
No bobcat was harmed in the filming of this episode?
I don't care if the bobcat was harmed. I got to be honest. I don't have a soft spot in my heart for bobcats. I don't know anything about bobcats, but
you're not a big fan of PETA, I guess.
I think the lady was okay, despite the bobcat attack.
Was the bobcat really attacking, or was it just there? Did she freak out, or was it going to bite her?
I think it was attacking her.
Well,
like, it looks like it would, like, you could kind of see between them. It looks like it. I mean, it's after her,
and you can tell the bobcat. The bobcat has that point on the ears.
I don't
because
my bobcat knowledge is.
Well, I've
nothing.
seen bobcats in a zoo environment, and I've seen them on television or looked them up on Google them, and I think they have the little points on the ears because you could mistake them for a cat, a big cat.
You're out there Googling bobcats? You've been doing bobcat research in your life?
I think one time I was looking at all the felines that are found in North America, something like that. And I was looking at all the different...
What?
I don't know. I was just doing it one day.
Well, I'm not sure if that might be worse than your research of Canadian football rosters.
No, it's because there was a reason why I did that. I had seen...
Were you attacked by a bobcat? And you were trying to figure out what kind of cat it was?
How about a cougar? Imagine getting like.
Were you out on a cougar hunt? And were you wanted to...
Oh, I was on a cougar hunt. No cougar. I've never seen a cougar in person. Never seen a bobcat.
I've seen a lot of cougars. You've never seen a cougar in person?
Well, yeah.
I've seen a ton of cougars. I see cougars on a daily basis. What are you talking about?
All right.
I've never had to chuck one.
All right. Well, not that you remember. Not that you remember.
I mean, but for folks out there, if you have not seen the bobcat video, and I don't know if I mean, at this point, if you're on Twitter, I don't know how you haven't because it's been all over the place. But you just got to check it out. It'll brighten your day. Like, it just.
This guy's going to end up on Jimmy Fallon, right? He's going to end up on Jimmy Kimmel, one of those shows.
I hope so because I've got some questions that I want to hear this guy answer.
I'm sure they have questions they ask.
I really want to know how he got. I mean, like, if there's a bobcat attacking my wife, granted, you go over there, you try. Like, I can't imagine just grabbing it and lifting it up above your head.
Right.
Like, I would be like grabbing something and maybe hitting it with, like, hoping it's just going to run away. I can't imagine my first reaction being, I'm going to grab it, lift it up over my head, and I'll just throw it so we can all get away from it.
Doesn't the guy realize that cats land on their feet and probably would come back at him? The bobcat itself is probably thinking, what the hell is this guy doing? Why isn't he hitting me just with a normal stick or something? What is he doing? Wait, put me down.
I would be scared to death to be holding a bobcat above my head. I just feel like that bobcat. I don't like regular, like, house cats holding them, especially if they're angry. Like, they'll tear the heck out of you. I can't imagine an angry bobcat, and I'm lifting it up over my head as a way of getting rid of it. Like, here's my solution to our problem. Let me lift it above my head, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with it. And he just does. And if it would have came back at him, I don't know what his next move was. Like if once he tossed it, if it got mad at him and came back at him, I wonder what his next move was going to be.
I'll make the transition into basketball, and I'll do so by. Do you remember when the Charlotte nickname was the Bobcats for like a year or two?
Yes. Somebody, by the way, says Bobcats are actually Lynx.
Yes.
So I'm sure the Rhodes College can do something with that video.
Well,
Bobcats and Lynx are the same?
One and the same? Well,
why would they have two different names?
Exactly. Charlotte Bobcats. Remember, they were the Charlotte Bobcats for a while. But back in the day, in the old ABA, they were the Carolina Cougars. So I'm assuming in the mountains of North Carolina, they got Bobcats/Lynx and Cougars running around. It's not a safe place to be around, I think, walking through the mountains of Carolina, whether it be north or south. But I remember the Carolina Cougars and, of course, the short-lived Charlotte Bobcats. I don't know.
The Carolina Cougars, was that at the WNBA?
No, that was the.
That'd be an interesting team in the WNBA.
That would be. No, that was the old ABA. In fact, the player coach, if I'm not mistaken, may have just been a player, but I thought he was the player coach, was Billy Cunningham, the Kangaroo Kid, by the way, his nickname. Not the Bobcat.
I don't want to fight a kangaroo either. I wouldn't want to fight a kangaroo either.
I have some good information to clarify this Bobcat Lynx debate here.
Okay.
All Bobcats are Lynx, but not all Lynx are Bobcats.
Whoa. See,
Come on, you're blowing my mind, man.
See, now I don't understand. Like, how
So Lynx is they are the feline sort of. They're cats. They're the big cats, right? Like Lynx are big cats, but a Bobcat is a red lynx. They also call a Bobcat a red lynx. I'm trying to explain this without having full species knowledge of these things.
A Bobcat that is part of the lynx family.
I need the species, the family, and then the what?
Okay, see now we're doing.
That's a
the Bobcat.
Going back to early
okay,
science.
You ready? The Bobcat's scientific name is Lynx rufus.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Oh, Rufus.
Rufus with
so
Shaka
again,
Khan.
I'll say it again. All Bobcats are Lynx. Not all Lynx are Bobcats.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Lynx makes a good beef jerky as well. Not the real Lynx, but the company.
But there's several types of Lynx that are all big cats.
They're all lynxed together. All big cats are lynxed together is what I'm getting out of this.
All right.
Somebody said I had a bobcat in the same tree I was deer hunting in. Nope. See that I'm not in that tree. Like I don't need to mess with a bobcat. Like not after that video. I've never known a thing about bobcats, but that bobcat seemed very violent.
I need to get my buddy John Albright on to ask him about Carolina and Bobcats and Cougars and all that good stuff. But of course now they're the Hornets. You know, Hornets can be tough as well, but I don't know. I don't want to mess with the Bobcat. I'm with you. Hornets,
I'm fine if it's just one. I don't want a pack of Hornets.
A nest of Hornets there.
Bobcats, yeah. I don't even want to mess with one of them. That dude seemed he seemed angry. He was an angry Bobcat. But good for the guy to fight him off. That's just a great video.
Well, it won't be the Bobcats. It won't be the Hornets. It won't be anybody like that. But it will be the Bulls.
I have dealt with an angry bull before.
On the farm?
Oh gosh, yeah. I got chased one. It wasn't actually on our farm. It was on one of my friend's farms. Oh my God!
Wait, the big bull with the horns, the whole Pamplona thing?
I thought my life was dead. I thought my life was ending. I was probably.
You were going to get gored?
Yeah, I mean it was. I was probably maybe 10 years old, and we had gone fishing. And we were walking. We knew there was a bull. We knew they had a bull out there, but we didn't. We had gone fishing. We were coming back from the pond that we went fishing in, and we looked around, didn't see the bull anywhere. So we're like, all right, let's just cut across the pasture here because it's a much shorter walk if you cut across the pasture.
Bad move jeans.
Jeans.
That's what
we got in the pasture, and we got into the middle of the pasture, and all of a sudden we heard something.
Oh, jeez.
And here it was coming. It was coming after us. Fishing poles dropped, everything dropped, everybody sprinting. You know that whole thing about, you don't have to be first, just don't be last? That's you just didn't want to be last. Well, I was the 10-year-old. It was my brothers. Everybody else was 15, 16 years old. So they're outrunning me. It's me. I'm the only one that's going to die in this scenario. If I don't get to the fence in time.
Yeah, they always go after the weakest.
I would have loved to. Well, no, it's just I'm the only one he's going to reach. Like everybody else is going to be in front of me. Like he's not going to pass me. I don't like you. I'm going to go get him.
Well,
up
it's
there.
like every time you see the stuff from Africa, right? They go after the weak one. That's the smaller one, the baby, the one that's slow. It's always the one last in line.
And I mean, I just remember, and I would love to know what my 40 time was like at that point. Like if you could have clocked me, the fastest 40 I would have ever run in my life. I might have got drafted in like the second round if I could take that 40 time and take it for the rest of my life as my permanent 40 time.
So what happened? Did you get to a fence and jump over a fence? Okay.
I mean, like literally, this thing probably isn't, I don't know, 10 feet behind me.
Oh my gosh.
And it's like it is literally like I am literally thinking like life or death here. Like I might be dead if this thing catches me, and was able to get to the fence and just like dove head first underneath the fence, and the bull stopped. And I live to tell about it today. But it was without a doubt the scariest moment of my life. Like I literally, as like a 10-year-old, thought I was dying. Like I thought I was going to be killed by a bull.
What's the saying? You mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Yes.
Well, luckily you escaped from getting the horns. That's a pretty scary moment there, buddy.
Needless to say, every other time we went fishing over at that friend's house, we never took the shortcut. All right, at least I did. I didn't. I like you guys could cut through the pasture. I will walk. I don't care if I have to go 3 miles out of my way. I am not going through that thing again.
Well, hopefully the Grizzlies won't get gored tonight in Chicago against the Bulls. They beat the Bulls this past Monday at FedEx Forum 101-90. And they begin the 7-game road trip in Chicago. Grizzlies come in at 27-26 after the unfortunate dramatics by Luka Doncic the other night. They gave Dallas the win on Wednesday. So the Grizzlies a game over 500. Zach LaVine in protocol, expected to miss several games. Not good for him, not good for the Bulls, but good for the Grizzlies. As we know, Zach LaVine can go off and had a 50-point game not too long ago. And this is one you would think that, even though this road trip looks brutal on paper, that the Grizzlies can get.
Yeah, I mean, this is by far the worst team you're going to play on the road trip, and they're without their best player. Obviously, Vucevic could still have a big game and go off, but Zach LaVine, I mean, he does everything for that team. Without him, this is a Bulls team you should always beat. You can't lose to the Bulls without Zach LaVine, even if it is on the road. And this road trip, I mean, it's some unfortunate stuff for other teams, and for other players. But the road trip at least keeps getting a little easier. No Zach LaVine, no Jamal Murray. Don't know if anybody else will end up missing games along the way, but at least the Grizzlies are getting some help here along the way in this road trip.
Yeah, sometimes you need to be fortunate as well as being good. Grizzlies will play at the Bucks on Saturday. They'll play at Denver on Monday. They'll play at the Clippers on Wednesday. That's the first 4 games of the trip. Chicago tonight, at the Bucks, at the Nuggets, and then at the Clippers. A 7-game road trip. And I think will be the telltale sign of where things stand, whether or not they're going to move up, maybe have a chance to get to the 7th. Most importantly is to get to the 6th, because the top 6, you're in. 7 through 10 is the play-in. Is it possible? I guess there's still enough time. The loss to the Knicks when you had that game in hand was bad. The unfortunate happenings against the Mavericks also was one you certainly could have walked away with a W and probably should have walked away with a W, and then they all come back to haunt them as far as getting up there into that 6th, although I still think that's going to be really hard to do. Now, going the other way, that's also a possibility if they struggle on the road. But like you said, Eli, a couple of breaks, you need them from now and then, and Zach LaVine not being in the lineup for Chicago certainly hurts them. And when they do play Denver, not having Jamal Murray, although the Nuggets still a very, very capable team even without the services of Jamal Murray. Go ahead.
I just wanted to read this text from Raider Corey, because we did, unfortunately, have another very unfortunate incident last night at the FedEx facility up in Indianapolis, which we have way too many of these things that continue to happen in our country. But Raider Corey texts in, so this latest FedEx mass killing hits home for us. The violence just needs to stop as a country. I know we're better than this. We are politically divided, racially divided, gender divided. Can we unite to save our country? We need some healing right now. Let's come together and change our hearts. And I think that's well said. And, Yeah, it's just another awful incident that we, as a country, continue to have these mass shootings that just it's sickening.
Yeah, in Indianapolis police say search is underway at the home of the suspect in the FedEx facility massacre, where at least 8 have died. Well said, Corey. And again, our thoughts and prayers to everybody involved in that. Obviously, everybody in the FedEx family. FedEx so important to us here in this community. All right, we'll take a timeout. When we come back, Stephen Johnson will join us from the Daily Memphian as we continue the countdown to Friday Night Stripes, 7 o'clock tonight at Liberty Bowl Stadium. We'll get a preview from Stephen when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Start your day the right way with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane on Sports 56 mornings. Weekdays from 7 to 10 on Sports 56, 98.5 FM and 96.1 FM.
Looking for some action on your favorite games? Action247.com is at your service. Action 24/7 free-to-play games are brought to you by Tennesseans for Tennesseans. Come play with us online at Action247.com. Our free-to-play games are fun and easy. Go to Action247.com and click Let's Play. And best of all, you can win cash prizes. That's right, cash prizes. Free to play online at Action247.com. You got action.
It's happening again at Family Leisure. Don't miss out again this summer because pools are going fast. Spas in stock now, too, and they're ready for delivery. New 2021 patio furniture, state-of-the-art in stock now, and up to 20% off select sets. Swing into spring with a brand new play gym, professional installation available. The temperature's rising, and so is the service at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road, where family and fun come together.
This is a job alert. If you're looking for work, this will interest you. Whether you're looking for full-time, part-time, or even something temporary if you've been recently furloughed, text 107-JOB to 49330. That's 107-JOB to 49330. Office work available now in a clean office environment with all COVID precautions taken. Text 107-JOB to 49330 and someone will be in touch about these job opportunities available now. Text 107-JOB to 49330.
Jeff Allen, my man, what's happening over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
All I can say, Randy, it's the right time to buy your new Kia at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah. I've got a 2021 Kia Forte, 41 MPG, or $129 a month lease, just $31.99 due at signing. And a 2021 Kia Soul, $159 per month lease, $30.99 due at signing.
And I see you got 2021 Kia K5, built in America, $184 a month lease, $30.99 due at signing. They're all 36-month leases.
Plus our industry-leading 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, and let's not forget Senatobia, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 36-month leases, zero security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, Forte, ME344-837, MSRP $20,655, Soul M777-2135, MSRP $21,130, K5 MG 005560, MSRP $25,725, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF $695, excludes tax title and license with approved credit, warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2021, dealer stock only.
Join us and get vaccinated on Friday, April 16th and Saturday, April 17th during our community vaccination days at the Pipkin Building from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Receive a $20 Kroger or Walmart gift card, Grizzly swag, and BOGO McDonald's coupons while supplies last. Join us and get vaccinated on Friday, April 16th and Saturday, April 17th during our community vaccination days at the Pipkin Building from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. This Friday and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Pipkin, located at the Liberty Bowl Stadium.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
I was working part-time in a 5 and dime. My boss was Mr. McGee.
After no spring football last year, and then, of course, limited amount of fans during the season, and everybody dealing with the pandemic, which we still are, it's going to feel a lot better tonight to actually see some fans out there, to see some tailgating going on. It's going to be a busy time at Liberty Bowl Stadium in the fairgrounds because they're still vaccinating people for COVID-19 at the Pipkin building. You got that dinosaur deal going on, but you do have the Tigers tonight starting at 7 o'clock. Yesterday we had both offensive coordinator Kevin Johns and defensive coordinator Mike McIntyre join us to kind of preview what's going on. Now we want to get that from the media standpoint, and we're very pleased to be joined by Steven Johnson. He's the Memphis Tigers football beat writer for the Daily Memphian. You can follow Steven on Twitter at StevenMJohnson_. Hey, Steven, how are you?
Oh, hello?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing all right, man. About to get a haircut. That just goes to show you how excited I am for tonight.
Got to get looking sharp
you gotta
for this
look
one.
Good. You got to look good. Well, great to have you on the program. And like I said, even though there's still restrictions, there's still the mask and all that and the distancing, we're getting closer, Steven, and it feels good that we'll go out there, watch the Tigers, and the fans will be able to go out and watch the Tigers as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely excited for it as well. I think for the fans, this could be a very special season for the Tigers. I think from a talent standpoint, we know what they did with the recruiting class, best in program history, all the transfer they have coming in, and, of course, the NCAA formally approved the one-time waiver. So all those guys will be able to play. So I think for the fans, this will be the first chance they get a look at guys like Devon Robinson, quarterbacks, Grant Gunnell, of course. So, I think it'll be a great day. I think it'll be part scrimmage and part spectacle for Tiger Nation tonight.
And the you mentioned that transfer portal, which again they went and picked up another offensive lineman from Cincinnati with the center. So they've really done a nice job of putting that offensive line, putting together an offensive line through the transfer portal.
Yeah, definitely. I know my man Gabe will probably agree with me on this, but it's all about the trenches, man. Up front, we know the Memphis running game wasn't exactly what the fans wanted it to be last season. So I think one way you can address it is going and getting more experienced offensive linemen. I believe they brought in 3 so far from the transfer portal. Monte Dobbs is on campus. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a starter. Then you have Austin Myers from TCU and Jakari Robinson. Those guys also have starting experience. So now, when fall camp comes around, Ryan Silverfield will have so many options at the offensive line. So I definitely think you'll see that group take a step forward.
It's not a surprise. Ryan Silverfield's, one of his priorities was to fix the offensive line. Remember, he coached the offensive line before he became the head coach. So this is and you mentioned the running game, Steven, from last year. It's easy to point fingers and go, well, there's no more Kenneth Gainwells or Antonio Gibsons or Darrell Hendersons. But some of that blame has to go to the offensive line, the tight end, and the running backs themselves. So everybody was in it together. Now, if you get this offensive line clicking, they're better, they're more cohesive, maybe that'll get that running game going in a more positive direction.
Yeah, definitely. And look, like you said, Ryan Silverfield's a former offensive line coach. He wants to run the ball. We know how that Memphis kind of carved out this role as being one of those programs that always produces a great running back, or at the very least a great running game. So he wasn't pleased last year, and at different times after games, he would kind of mirror what you just said, that it wasn't just the running backs. Sometimes it was on the blocking. Sometimes the blocking wasn't just the offensive lineman. Sometimes it was the receivers or the tight end. So I think everybody, from the running backs to the O-line to even those skill guys, I think everybody will have to be better this season. I believe the Tigers averaged under 150 a game last year, and that's just so uncommon for this program. So I can tell you that Ryan Silverfield wants that to change this year.
With the quarterback position, they are, it's a competition. They keep saying, and they won't have a starter named until the fall and all of that. But do you believe, like I feel like most people believe, that Grant Gunnell will be the starting quarterback?
From what I've been hearing, that still seems that looks like that's what's going to happen. And my opinion has always been like, you wouldn't necessarily bring a guy in if you didn't think at the very least he could compete for that starting job. So he has the size, he has the arm talent. I think from the people I've talked to, he has certainly looked the best. But with Peter Parrish and Keelan Brown, they add that extra dimension with their legs, which could also help out the running game. So they might not be able to showcase that part of their game yet, but I still do think right now it's a competition. But I think I would be mildly surprised come August or September if Gunnell is not the starting quarterback, though.
Yeah, Kevin Johns was on with us, as I mentioned, yesterday, and we talked about the quarterbacks, obviously. And he seemed to indicate, although he would not say one guy's ahead of the other and they're all going to get equal reps tonight and things of that nature, it did seem to indicate that he was going to look at packages for play, and he did say specifically, like you just said, Stephen, with Peter, with Keelan, they can beat you with their legs as well. So I would not be surprised whatsoever if Gunnell turns out to be the guy they think and he starts, that Parrish or Brown or both are integrated into this offense, because they're too skilled offensive players not to be used, to just be sitting there rusting on the bench. So I think we could see some wrinkles this season.
Same here. I remember last season there was actually talk of playing Brown and to kind of give the running game a little bit juice, doing a little read option, a little triple option with him. That never came to fruition. But I think this season, Peter Parrish is just so dynamic. People forget he was a 4-star recruit coming out of high school, one of the best quarterbacks in Alabama. He blew out Tua's little brother in the Alabama State championship game. So he's a big-time player. And I think, if he doesn't end up being the starting quarterback, you got to find a way to get a guy like that on the field. And Keelan Brown, yes, he's dynamic, but he's also a very good thrower.
Yep.
So he's the type of guy you could throw in there. The defense might be expecting you to do some read option, but he can attack you over the top as well, too. So I think Gunnell is like the leader in the clubhouse, but Keelan Brown and Peter Parrish are two guys that have also done really well in camp, and their athleticism really just jumps out the page. So they're giving the coaches something to think about.
On the defensive side, what are you kind of most interested in seeing tonight?
Really the defensive line. I think I don't believe Morris Joseph will play. He's kind of recovering from a shoulder injury. They bring back basically everybody with the linebackers in the secondary. So the defensive line, if there's any question marks on the defense that brings back 9 or 8 starters, I think it's the defensive line. So I'll be interested to see Devon Robinson, the guy they brought in from Mississippi State. I'm interested to see if he's kind of carved out a role with maybe that starting group. They also got John Tate back, and he missed all of last season. So they have plenty of talent up front. They have a couple of young defensive linemen. Cameron Jackson is one of them that played a little bit last year that could see a bigger role this year. So I think defensive line for me.
Look, I saw that defense. We all saw that defense struggle most of the time, especially early in the season. But I think as the season moved along, they got better and better and more acclimated to McIntyre's 3-4 system. Now that they have a whole spring under their feet, I think this is going to be a much improved unit overall. And you're absolutely right. Linebackers, defensive backs, a lot of familiar faces, a lot of guys returned that have been in the system. And now they get a couple of guys back from injury as well. I think we're going to see a lot of improvement. Do you expect that, Stephen?
Absolutely, 100%. I believe in the final 5 games of the season, and some of this was competition, but I believe in the final 5 games. I think the Tigers were averaging giving up less than maybe 20 a game. Like you said, they definitely improved. They definitely got more acclimated to the system. And if you talk to and we've been talking to the guys all spring, Rodney Owens wants this defense to be a top 25 defense. Quindell Johnson, who I think is one of the best safeties in America, believes this defense should be the number 1 defense in the conference. So, and from everything I've been hearing, they've been kind of taking it to the offense, which they should. They bring back all this experience. They don't have as many shuffling parts. So from what I gather from the spring is I think this could be one of the best defenses Memphis has had these few recent years, and a lot of that has to do with having McIntyre back for another season. We know he kind of considered at least one head coaching job, but having him back, getting to go through a spring, bringing back a Thomas Pickens, Jacoby Francis, all those guys, it's a recipe for what should be a big year on defense.
The one thing you wonder about with this year, not just for Memphis, but all these schools now with that, as you mentioned, the one-time transfer rule being approved is, after spring practice, how many more transfers could we end up seeing around the country? Because guys maybe go through spring, realize maybe my role isn't what I thought it was going to be, and I've got a chance to go somewhere else now and get that opportunity. So I wonder, with this being passed, how much of that we might see around the country after spring practice is done.
Well, I can tell you for certain there are going to be some more Tiger players that eventually enter their name in the transfer portal, and I'll go ahead and warn fans right now not to be worried. Before Taj Washington transferred to USC, I believe Ryan told us they had 101 players in the spring. I believe in the fall they can only bring in 110, and of course they have another dozen or so freshmen and a couple transfers they're going to bring in to get here over the summer. So, you do the math. That means at least a few more players will be putting their name in the portal. And like you said, you go through the spring, you try to compete, but sometimes, you see the writing on the wall, and it's like at that point it's best to go find a new place, whether it be lower or higher, just so you compete and possibly play this season.
Stephen Johnson joining us, Memphis Tigers football beat writer for the Daily Memphian. You can follow Stephen on Twitter at Stephen M. Johnson _. You mentioned Taj Washington, who is gone now at USC. How big of a loss, and what other receivers do you expect to step up to help Calvin Austin on the other side?
Well, I think it's a tremendous loss. I think just based on what we saw from Taj last season, not only did he have that speed, his ability to reel in these tough catches, man. I think in terms of just catching the ball, I think he was the Tigers' best receiver last year. So, anytime you lose an All-American, that's a big hole. The good thing is they do have talent. I think starting with Arkansas transfer Shamar Nash, he's going to be one guy I'm really looking for tonight. We talked to Kevin Johns. They really say he's really tried to grind and learn the offensive system, but he just has to get his conditioning better. Kobe Webster was another one of those young guys we heard about last year that competed. Kai Matthews, another one. He had a catch last season as well, too. So it'll kind of be mirroring last season. You have one guy that you kind of know what you got. There's also Javon Ivory. I don't expect him to play, but he was also kind of dealing with an injury. So I think you know what you got in Calvin Austin and Ivory, but you have so many options for that third wide receiver. So it will probably be a young guy or one of these transfers. They also brought in Jeremiah from Austin Peay, who was a former quarterback, moved over to wide receiver. So, look, Taj's departure opened the door for a lot of guys because I thought the receiver was probably the one position on offense that was pretty much set when Taj was here. But he's gone now, so that opens the door for somebody, whether it be a transfer or a freshman, to step up and fill that void at wide receiver number 3.
So, Stephen, I know you're kind of forced into some double duty with Tiger basketball as well. Do you have any feeling on what's going to happen with the Lawsons?
I still feel pretty good about Memphis. When I talked to their father last weekend, basically the decision's supposed to come this week. If not this weekend, I would expect early next week. So I do know that both of them, as of right now, are takes for the Tigers. They'll have to figure out their scholarship situation because they're just it's dizzying, man. There are so many different scenarios. I believe they have 2 right now. They could end up with 4. Cisse could come back. So we're almost to the finish line. But I do think, as of right now, I haven't really talked to their father this week. I still do think things look good for Memphis. Chandler will help out in the front court. He's a guy that has starting experience in the Pac-12. And Johnson is a guy that I think could be really good in a couple of years after he gets in the weight room. It's kind of a combo guard / wing for the Tigers.
We're on the same wavelength. I really think Jonathan Lawson can be the real deal. He does have to get bigger and stronger, and he's young, so he will certainly do that. But I thought the same thing, and then I was asked last night or late yesterday afternoon by Waldo and Brett, because I've said all along I think they're going to get the Lawsons. And then they asked me again yesterday, and I said, well, I think so, but I expected some news already by now. And the later it goes, the more I get a little concerned that maybe they won't go in that direction. But you just said that you expect maybe something this weekend, early next week. So if that's the case, then maybe that'll still happen.
Yeah, that's just from our sources. So obviously, I'm in kind of the same boat. I would have thought we heard something maybe today, or at least some type of announcement, maybe that I'll be committing on Monday or so and so. So I think it's something that definitely we'll have to dig into a little bit. But as of right now, I still feel pretty good about the Tigers' chances. I know some targets they had in the transfer portal are kind of committed to other schools. So I think the plan right now would maybe be to grab the Lawson, hope Cisse comes back, or maybe go find another point guard, because I do think that is one position they'll need some help at going into the season.
You are preaching to the choir, my friend. We've been saying that a long time. One other thing real quick, any word on the replacement for Tony Madlock? Where's Penny in that searching situation?
Haven't had any updates just yet. I know there was a report out earlier this week that the staff is kind of shuffling and whatnot. I actually have heard from Matlock's perspective that he will be hiring. He's supposed to be bringing a couple guys from the Memphis support staff to be on the staff. Mark Drake is Wade could be a guy he helped out with the team last year. I believe he's supposed to go with Matlock in some capacity at South Carolina State. So it's going to be something worth monitoring. I think they're just trying to finalize these last few spots on the roster, and I think you'll see them kind of move forward with that next assistant coaching spot.
All right, show off that new buzz of yours tonight with the Tiger Tailgaters. Have fun, Stephen. We appreciate your time. We'll talk to you down the road.
All right, thank y'all so much, man.
Thank you, man.
Thanks, Stephen.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it is weird. It is interesting because everybody seems to still think that the Lawsons are like that Memphis is leader, but it's like if it was going to be Memphis, why? Everybody thought it was going to be done by like Wednesday. Why isn't it done if it's Memphis?
I know. It's not been easy. The whole deal has not been easy, and that's why, again, I said yesterday when asked that question one more time, I think it's the Lawsons. However, the longer it goes here, I'm a little bit more concerned. I still lean towards them coming to Memphis, not as sold as much as when you asked me the other day.
This hour of the program is brought to you by Action 24/7. You can go to the website at action247.com, download the app to your phone. Get betting on some baseball action today. Of course, the Grizzlies, NBA action coming up later tonight. All kinds of stuff this weekend that you can be betting on with the folks at Action 24/7. They are the local sports book here in the state of Tennessee, owned and operated by Tennesseans for Tennesseans. With your initial deposit when you sign up, use the promo code WHBQ100, and they will match your initial deposit 100% up to $100. So you can double that initial deposit with Action 24/7. Every day in Major League Baseball, first inning insurance. Get 50% loss refund on any first inning bet up to $20. Also, they got soccer stuff going on the weekend. Soccer parlay insurance with Predators home games. They've got their goose egg guarantee. You can bet on the total goals, and if there's a scoreless period, you'll get a 25% loss refund as well with that. So they do stuff with the local teams. Again, you can bet on the Vanderbilt Tennessee baseball series this weekend, a huge series going on in college baseball, and they'll give you that chance to bet on it at Action 24/7.
ESPN FPI projected win totals are out for all the different conferences. I want to take a look at the SEC when we return. We know that Mississippi State is being thought of highly for the 2021 season from these FPI rankings. But what's the rest of the SEC look like? We will discuss when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 98.5.
Grab a seat for a happy hour with John Harden.
Passengers will please fasten their seatbelts.
On Sports 56 Happy Hour. Weekdays from 1 to 3 on Sports 56, 98.5 FM, and 96.1 FM.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
2021 is finally here. Might I suggest we start the wonderful new year with a makeover for your beautiful house. I'm Brian Elder. I'm a roofer. I fix roofs. Don't let them tell you that it has to be replaced when all it may need is some love. 867-0303. Let me love on your roof. I've made quite the reputation over the last decade as the guy to call after the insurance company denies the claim. Overturning a claim that has gone bad is an art form where you argue county code, manufacturer specs, and details of your policy that they have to abide by. So let me see it first. If I say it's a claim, it's a claim. 867-0303. Money is free at Brian Elder Roofing with 0% financing for half a decade. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you a quote right over the phone. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Bodega, Alpha and Omega. Siamese sailors sell celery sandwiches. Sawing-a-bara, serving platter.
Hey, Jamie?
Yes?
Did you want to try reading that line on the script there?
Oh, yeah, let's see. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, that one?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm just not warmed up yet. Shouldn't be long. Detector test.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive today.
The marmot mangled my mushu pork pancake.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You ready for a new ride? We Gossett and Gossett Kia Covington Pike. And Bobby J is the man to put you in a new Kia today. It's less than $5 a day. 2021 Kia Forte, $129 a month lease. $31.99 due at signing. Find your soulmate with 2021 Kia Soul. $159 a month lease, $3,099 due at signing. And 2021 Kia K5, built in America, $184 a month lease, $3,099 due at signing. All 36-month leases. Plus, peace of mind you can trust with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike. Shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we Gossett and Gossett Motor Cars.
36-month leases, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, Forte, ME344, $837, MSRP $20,655. Sold M777, $2135, MSRP $21,130. K5, MG 005560, MSRP $25,725. 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF $695. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
I'm so excited that baseball is back. There's nothing like watching a game with great weather, cold drink, and a little action on FanDuel Sportsbook. If you've never bet on baseball before, now is the perfect time. FanDuel is letting new users swing for the fences risk-free. You'll get up to $1,000 back in site credit if your first bet doesn't win. And once you have an account, you can get up to $25 back each day in site credit if your same-game parlay bet falls one leg short. There is a reason FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 sportsbook. Their app is simple to use, they've got great odds, and always-on promotions to let you get a little more action. And when you win, FanDuel will pay your winnings in as little as 24 hours. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code BIGHEAD to get in on the action. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only for risk-free bet. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that PIN, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time, as simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
Like a coin in your man, I am tempted.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour is brought to you by Action247.com. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Take me to the pilot for control. Take me to the pilot of your soul.
So Ryan Silverfield makes it official. Charles Bankins, a 25-year coaching veteran, most recently the special teams coordinator with Charlotte, is the new special teams coordinator at the University of Memphis. He has been a coordinator, as I mentioned, at Charlotte, Old Dominion, Vanderbilt, Maryland, Richmond, Hampton, and with the NFL's St. Louis Rams. So this guy brings a lot of experience into the position. You may recall that the Tigers just lost Drew Swoboda, who was claimed by Nick Saban. When Nick Saban wants a coach, they will go and coach under Nick Saban. So they lost Swoboda, who was the replacement for Pete Lembo. Special teams, extremely important for Memphis, Eli. It has been for a number of years. And so now you have your second special teams coordinator since Lembo left, and they haven't even played a game. And then you throw in the fact that there's going to be a new punter. There's going to be a new kicker. Very important to continue to be as productive as they have been with special teams.
Yeah, it has been a strength of the team over the last, I don't know how many years, but certainly under Mike Norvell it was. But yeah, it's be interesting to see with the new kickers and now, as you said, your second replacement since the end of last season in that special teams coaching position. But yeah, you like to continue the way they have played in special teams over the last few years.
All right, so ESPN has put out their FPI projected win totals for the SEC. And again, that's their system that ESPN has to come up with win totals for the year. And we had, the other day we were talking about their top 10 national list. Alabama was number 1, of course. But Mississippi State was in the top 10. And we discussed it on the show. Like, really? Mississippi State? So here's the projected win totals using their FPI system in the SEC. SEC West, Bama 11.1. Remember, going back to the normal schedule, knock on wood, fingers crossed, of 12 games, Bama 11.1. Texas A&M 9.6. Mississippi State 8.2, then LSU at 7.2, Auburn at 6.9 with new head coach Brian Harsin, Ole Miss at 6.9, and then Arkansas at 6.1. And we saw the improvements last year under Sam Pittman in his first year with the Hogs. So that would be every single team reaching the 6-win mark and all in bowl games, presumably.
I'm not sure how you win 1/10 of a game, but hey. I guess some of those were 0.9, the others were 0.1, so that means that one team beat that other team 9/10 of the way one game, and the other one they're able to salvage 1/10 of the game.
But again, if you just look and round it off, 11 wins for Bama, 10 for A&M, 8 for Mississippi State, 7 for LSU, 7 for Auburn, 7 for Ole Miss, 6 for Arkansas. Anything sound crazy?
Nothing individually necessarily sounds crazy. I think that's high for Mississippi State. I'm not having seen their schedule or looked really closely at their schedule. A&M obviously replacing Kellen Mond, but who's one of the draft guys I saw the other day who was doing like 2022 draft stuff, said they had like 7 A&M guys in like the top 50 or something like that.
Wow.
They are loaded with some talent. They got to get the new quarterback, but man, they are apparently loaded with NFL caliber talent.
Does LSU make a big jump back up after the down year and all the issues that they've had? The national championship 2 years ago, they got them at 7.2.
It will all depend, I think, whether Miles Brennan is truly the quarterback they believe he is.
I think he's a good quarterback. I mean, they think he's a good quarterback. They're always going to have weapons. Those skill position players, they're always going to find wide receivers and running backs. All right, in the SEC East, they got Georgia at 9.5. How do you get a half a win? Florida, 8.2. Mizzou, 7.1. Kentucky, 7.1. Tennessee, 6.6. South Carolina, 4.5. Vanderbilt, 4.2. You have 3 new coaches, and they are the bottom 3 in the East. Coaches that are in their first year at Tennessee, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt. But South Carolina, or make that Tennessee at 6.6, you round it off, that's 7 wins. 7 wins for Tennessee Vols fans in Josh Heupel's first year. Acceptable?
I hope so.
Well, they are a little delusional at times, Tennessee fans.
If they think if they're expecting him to win like 9 games or something in year 1, they're crazy.
Anything stand out there? Florida, only 8 wins.
Yeah, that's a little interesting.
You lose a lot, though. You lose your quarterback. You lose your stud in pitch. You lose,
that
the
again,
other receiver. What's his name? Tony?
It's what's his Emory? Is it Emory Jones?
Emory Jones, yeah.
If he ends up being, again, he was a highly thought of guy coming out. If he, he certainly isn't going to throw the ball like Kyle Trask, but if he can be, what they thought they were getting when they recruited him, they could certainly get over that, I would think.
He's been around the system. I mean, he's been around that program. He knows the system. So you just plug him in. It's not like it's a new guy coming from another school that has to learn everything, including how to be a Gator. Emory's been around for a while. We were talking about Tennessee football, Tennessee basketball. Apparently, John Fulkerson is going to be back.
Yeah, they have had a good week, especially in the front court. I mean, they've added a big time front court player each of the last 3 days to their roster for this coming season. Yeah. Their roster just keeps getting better and better for next year.
Yeah, the guy you were talking about yesterday, who his name is Hatfield. He is a guy who would have been a senior coming up.
Yeah, he reclassified.
So he reclassified. They had the big man that you talked about, the center, that transferred. Fulkerson's back. Obviously, you got stud Kennedy Chandler coming in.
They got Justin Powell, the transfer from Auburn, who was
Powell,
great
exactly.
early this year before he had the concussion and didn't ever play again. I mean, he dominated. He killed Memphis in the Auburn game this year. They are loaded.
But you lose Springer. You lose Johnson. You lose Pons. I believe, right? Pons is gone.
Yes, I believe so.
That's a lot of talent to lose, but a lot of potential coming in. When we come back, hour number 2 of the program. Got some NFL draft tidbits as we are less than 2 weeks away from that. Also, we'll have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. That will come your way at 11:30. In our final hour, Aaron Torres from Fox Sports at 12:05. And we're scheduled to be joined by Earl Timberlake, one of the new Memphis Tigers basketball players, at 12:30. You're listening to Sports 56 Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Hi, this is Troy Five-Ash, owner of Five-Ash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies. We will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Five-Ash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Five-Ash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Five-Ash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Waiting for spring is one thing. Waiting for spring savings is another. At the Home Depot, you don't have to wait for either one. Our best prices of the season are here now. In-store, online, store-wide. Get a 40-volt battery-powered Ryobi string trimmer for just $159. And more savings on everything, from fresh paint to power blowers. You've waited long enough. Bring on spring. The Spring Savings Event, now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid through April 18th while supplies last.
If you're going on vacation, making a college campus visit, or if business takes you out of town, there's just no better place to board your dog than Barks and Recreation, 965 Ruddock Cove between Bud Davis Cadillac and the Blue Plate Cafe in East Memphis. Boarding, daycare, grooming, we have the best of everything at Barks. Indoor-outdoor kennels so your family member can go in and out as they please. Indoor and outdoor play areas. 4 walks a day. Group play and individual attention from the best staff in the Mid-South, which includes an overnight staff to ensure the safety and comfort of your pet 24 hours a day. All reasons to choose Barks and Recreation above all other boarding and daycare facilities. BarksDaycare.com or 509-0909. Check us out and make your reservations now at BarksDaycare.com. If your dog could speak, he'd say Barks.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Bodega, Alpha and Omega. Siamese sailors sell celery sandwiches. Sawing-a-bara, serving platter.
Hey, Jamie?
Yes?
Did you want to try reading that line on the script there?
Oh, yeah, let's see. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, that one?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm just not warmed up yet. Shouldn't be long. Detector test.
Bundle your home and auto with Progressive today.
The marmot mangled my mushy pork pancake.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company, we have it all. From handmade Amish leather belts, fine and casual clothing, boots, casual boots, work boots, fancy boots, and even safety-toed boots. Lots of cowboy hats to choose from, even Nebo lights, Orco hard coolers, good-looking duck head dress shirts, duck head caps, shorts, and pants. Tons of jeans from Ariat, Wrangler, Devil Dog, and Kimes Ranch jeans. At Hewlett & Dunn, we have a great selection of Old South t-shirts and caps, fine clothing from dress to casual to Sunday best. Enjoy choosing from UFO's orthopedic-approved shoes. Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company. Boots of every size, every color, every skin. Safety toes, shoes, and great quality hiking boots. Hewlett & Dunn Boots and Clothing Company. 111 North Center Street, Collierville. Hewlett & Dunn. Hewlett and Dunn, serving you and your family since 1961.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 11:03 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Middays. The Friday, April 16th, 2021 edition. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, and Gabe Kuhn are in the Family Leisure Studios, where family and fun come together. Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. This Memphis Sports Fact is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers every Monday and Friday. James Gaddis Jewelers brings you the Memphis Sports Fact. We were talking soccer yesterday with Ben Pierman, who's the new head coach of Memphis 901 FC. Did you know the first professional soccer team in Memphis was the Memphis Rogues? They came into existence in time for the 1978 season. They played in the North American Soccer League, the NASL, and they were coached by Eddie McCready, a Scottish footballer and a famous guy overseas, and came across the big pond and coached the Memphis Rogues back in 1978. James Gaddis Jewelers, lots going on over at James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your bridal engagement and anniversary jeweler headquarters. They will buy your gold and silver. And right now, gold is out the roof. They have all types of great watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces. So many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis is experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. They have to be doing something right. They've been in existence for a long time, and they've been in that same East Memphis location for over 24 years. Go visit them today, 4900 Poplar, between Mendenhall and St. Elmo, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Give them a call at 901-767-9648. It's our second hour sponsor, James Gaddis Jewelers.
Got a text here on the First Bank text line. 70236 is the First Bank text line on the Tigers. It says, with the Lawsons along with Williams and Nolly, scoring should improve. If Iamidi can be a presence in the paint, we can go to the dance this season.
Iamidi is a project, I'm told. I'm not sure if he's ready to step right in and be that guy that he's been in high school, but I don't know. I know that John Camden thinks highly of him, who's been on the show a couple of times, and says the guy can step outside and knock down threes. He's got more of an offensive game, a lot more of an offensive game than Cisse. It's interesting what Steven Johnson said about Cisse, because people were looking at, including us, that goodbye basically as to not only saying goodbye, I'm going to dip my feet in the NBA waters, but I'm probably not going to be back in Memphis. Now, he didn't say that, so I guess the door is still open for that possibility, but it seemed to indicate, if you were reading the tea leaves right, that it was a goodbye to Memphis as well. So Cisse, if he comes back, would be the guy, even though he doesn't bring much offensively other than dunks. As far as the Lawsons are concerned, Jonathan is the guy who I am really looking forward to watching develop, but it's going to take a while for him. Chandler is a solid player. I don't know how good a player he is. He was a role player at Oregon, but I think he can help too. They are 2 great wings, athletes, no question about it. But even Steven said, and he hasn't been around here forever, that they have to improve at the point guard position. So those who are on one side of this debate, fine. We're on the other side of the debate. That, yes, Lomax is a solid, integral part of this team. Solid player, great leader. But is that the guy that's going to be able to run the point and lead your team deep into the NCAA tournament? I don't think so.
Today in As the Portal Turns, one big-time player into the portal, Texas A&M's Emmanuel Miller, who led them in scoring and rebounding this year. 16 points, 8 rebounds per game in the SEC. That's pretty darn good. He has entered the portal. Southern Miss, Tyler Stevenson, who averaged 14.7 rebounds a game this season at Southern Miss, he's also entered the portal. And I wonder if the decision now that like it is officially going to happen. Like I think all of these kids pretty much already knew that thing was going to get approved.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if there were how many may have been waiting to see like, okay, I want to officially see that this one-time transfer thing is going to happen before I actually enter the portal.
Yeah, no question. There were some that waited. They waited, but also you have the 5-6 players from Oklahoma that have left, but they left because Lon Kruger retired. Even though Porter Moser, I think, is a great coach and a great replacement for Lon Kruger, it's the easy way out. We came to school, and if anybody for a second has ever thought, well, they come to play for the school, there may be a few. I mean, even in the history of Memphis, there's probably some that have come to play because they want to play for the hometown team. So I do understand that. But for the most part, players go to play for a coach. And if you sign on with Lon Kruger and then Lon Kruger announces retirement, then it's not a surprise that you have a mass exodus, even with a very capable coach coming in. But as far as your question is concerned, absolutely, I think some waited for it to become official. We knew it was going to happen. So it's nuts out there. I mean, there are probably teams right now that have already replaced guys who have left that jumped in the portal with upgrades, and now they're looking on the horizon going, wow, we should have waited, or we can even upgrade our upgrades because there's so many of those guys available. And who was it that joined us in the last couple of days that said it is definitely a free agency type feel like the NBA in college basketball and college football right now? Who was it that just joined us and said that and admitted to that? That's.
Well, I mean, it's obvious. Like it doesn't take a genius to figure that out. I mean, that's what
was
it is.
Tony? Was it Tony Madlock? I forget who it was, but said that. No, it doesn't take a genius, but you don't usually hear that from the coaches. No, it was Kevin Johns yesterday who talked about that. That's who it was, and that's what we have. But there's so many that you can upgrade the upgrades.
I just want to see, with this rule now being official, what it is like after spring football wraps up, and what kind of wave of football players we might get of guys who again go through spring and realize, like, wait a second, that I'm clearly down the depth chart, not where I want to be, and I've got an opportunity to go somewhere else. At very least, you enter the portal just to see like what your possibilities are. Because just because you enter the portal doesn't mean you can't get back out and stay where you are. The school doesn't have to bring you back. It doesn't have to honor a scholarship once you're in that portal. But you could at least go check it out just to see what the other possibilities might be out there.
But what was the overall goal of this? Was it that players who don't think they're high enough on the depth chart, who don't think they're going to get the playing time that they expected, who don't think they're going to start when they believe they would be a starter, gives them a chance to find a new home, get a new lease on life? Or was it created to make sure that players who have not a lot of power have a little bit more control over their lives and their careers, and especially when coaches leave so often, that they are capable of leaving, not being penalized for leaving by having to sit out a year? I mean, what was the ultimate goal? I don't know if the ultimate goal was complete chaos, wild west, free agency. That's what we have. It's exciting for all of us because every day we're talking about a half a dozen or so players jumping into the portal or committing to a school. But I don't know if that was the ultimate goal, to have this type of, again, using the NBA term or pro sports term, free agency, as part of the collegiate model.
No, I don't. I think the goal was just to at least finally maybe give the players a little something, but also and also I think to eliminate most of, there will still be some, because I'm sure there's still going to be people who try to transfer a second time,
right?
But eliminate all of the stupid waiver nonsense.
Yeah, there's
of 1,000 kids every year applying for a waiver to play in their new place, and the NCAA approving and not approving, like just randomly some of the stuff. So getting rid of most of that, I think, was the main goal here.
Yes, and that's a great point, and they should, because it was convoluted. It was just not the right thing, right? To have all these waivers, have all these contingencies on these players wanting to move on with their careers and their schooling and go somewhere else. However, this year, it's not so bad if we have a bunch of players that leave after the spring football session, whatever school it may be around the country, because the numbers are so messed up with the one-time transfer rule and the year of eligibility that was given back because of COVID. So you have so many players that you need to get down to a certain number. So even if you lose a bunch of players, and Steven Johnson was alluding to this, you're going to be fine. But what happens in a few years when those numbers are back to normal and we're through this pandemic, and then you have spring football, and all of a sudden you have a number of players that want to leave after spring football because they don't think they're going to win the job or they don't think they're going to get enough playing time. Then you may not have those numbers to dip into. I think it could be, I'm not going to say it's detrimental. It's certainly not, but I think it will be more of a negative in a few years. I don't think it is now because of the massive numbers. Like if a bunch of players left, so be it. You're not going to have trouble filling those numbers because you have so many players right now.
Well, you're also, I mean, when you have a bunch of, if you have a bunch of, and I don't, I mean, it's not like the whole team's going to leave after spring practice.
No, I understand.
But there's going to be a bunch of other guys that are leaving other schools that you go try and get out of the portal. Like it's just what it is. This is going to make it difficult on coaches. Roster management is going to be an issue, and you're going to, it's dealing and kind of the way you handle players is good. Some of these coaches are probably gonna have to change. Like some guys that promise a lot of stuff and like you're gonna be this big part, and then that's not gonna happen. Like they're gonna transfer. So like I think coaches are gonna have to manage things, some egos and stuff for some kids who aren't playing early in their career, to make sure they understand like you're not playing, but don't leave. Like there will be an opportunity for you down the road.
No question. There's no question. Look, one thing is having a bunch of players leave after the season, before you have really started to put together your team and your game plan for the following season. But if you start to have a bunch of players leave after spring, when you have already counted on those players being a part of your team that season, that's not good. One thing is replacing those players with other guys who are in the transfer portal before the spring. The other thing is to lose them during. Now we got guys during the season leaving, and a lot of it was COVID, right? We are not going to play this season, or in the case of DeMonte Coxey, mid-season decide to pull out. Okay, that's one thing. That's, again, hopefully that's going to be snuffed out here in the not-too-distant future. But players will always transfer. Now they have more ammunition to transfer and a little bit more backing from the NCAA. So if they leave after the season, so be it. You're going to go into the portal. You're going to grab players. You're going to pluck players from other places. If you have, let's say, 6 to 10 quality players that leave, and they may not leave because if they're quality players, they're probably going to be playing. But let's say you lost a half dozen players. That's going to be a little bit tougher because you've already invested time and energy into those players in putting together your formula for the upcoming season. So that's why I think any type of exits after spring is going to be more detrimental.
Well, I mean, the deadline is May 1st for those, for fall and winter athletes. So you're going to know by May 1st whether they're leaving or not.
But how often do we have that? In years past, how often do players leave after spring? Not too many.
No. But they haven't, because they haven't had the freedom to just go play somewhere else right
That's
away.
what I'm saying. And they deserve that freedom. But it does open up, I don't know if it opens up a can of worms. It's not the most, it's not awful. Believe me, I understand the plight of the players, but you hit it on the head. It's almost like they have to have on their staff a coach that just completely, and I'm not talking about a recruiting coordinator, somebody who just deals with numbers.
Gabe, when you were playing, if this rule had been in effect, do you think there would have been a lot of other guys maybe on the team that would have transferred if they could have gone somewhere else and knew they could play right away?
I think several, yes. Toward the end of my career, it sort of started to get more normal. It was more normalized, so you saw more people move in and out of the program. But I think, at the beginning of my career, if there was the availability that there is now, it would have been the same as you see right this second. So I
would there be a lot of guys who would go through spring practice to kind of see what they think their situation is and then leave?
I think it's a possibility. But this year, it's just so different this year with COVID because of what you have to do in balancing scholarships with the recruits you have coming in next year. It's just so much different. I think this year has made it accentuated, tenfold given what we have to deal with COVID.
All right, as promised, I got some information on the draft, which will start 2 weeks from yesterday. So the NFL draft is rapidly approaching. This is from CBS Sports, and they break down each unit position by how many players have first-round grades and how many are in the top 100 overall. So this will give you an idea of what positions are loaded and what positions not so much for the draft. Again, this is the opinion of CBS Sports. So at the wide receiver position, they have 7 players who have first-round grades. 7. And they have 17 top 100 grades. That would be a pretty thorough position as far as depth. Quality and depth, right? Wouldn't you think 17 of the top 100 from the wide receiver position?
I feel like every year anymore, it seems like every year there's a deep wide receiving group in the draft.
Quarterback, they have 4 first-round grades, and they have 10 in the top 100. The one quarterback of the 5 that we have been talking about lately that's not a first-round grade, according to CBS Sports, is Mac Jones.
May not be a first-round grade for them, but he's going to go in the first round.
He's going to go in the first round. And Gabe and I, we were talking during the break that now it seems like, again, reading the smoke screens and all that junk out there, that the 49ers now, the lean may be the Fields, right?
I think last week it got as high as minus 200 for Mac Jones. As of this morning, and obviously we had the second pro day for Justin Fields, it is minus 135. Justin Fields be taken at number 3.
Yeah. I said this the other day before the pro day. As soon as he has this pro day, the buzz will be that they're going to take Justin Fields because they're there at that pro day. Like the first thing was just because they went to Mac Jones pro day over Justin Fields, and now they've gone to Justin Fields pro day, and sure enough, they all swing around now to, oh man, now that looks like they're going to take Justin Fields,
which is not etched in stone. But if Justin Fields is that pick, the question then becomes, what team takes a quarterback after that? Would it be Atlanta, looking at Matt Ryan's replacement? And would it be Trey Lance? And if so, what happens, which goes back to what the original conversation was, that Mac Jones would be somewhere in the teens and that maybe falls right into the lap of Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. But then the Patriots, every time you think they're going to take a quarterback, they don't.
I was all excited. I was hoping that Mel Kiper's last mock draft would be the accurate one. No, he had the 49ers taking Mac Jones, and he had Justin Fields falling down to number 10, and he had the Patriots trading with the Cowboys up to number 10 to take Justin Fields and giving up an extra first-round pick next year for the Cowboys. So I was all for that. If that can happen, if there could be one of those quarterbacks sitting there at 10 and the Patriots want them and want to trade up and give up an extra first-round pick to get up to number 10, I am all for that.
I'm sure you are. Offensive tackle, 4 have been given first-round grades, Gabe. 14 top 100. Does that sound about right? Is that pretty solid? 14?
So this offensive line draft, I think, is not as top-heavy as it was last year. Last year you had a bunch of guys that were top 10 picks. This year you're not going to have that. You have maybe one. or 2 possibly that are top 10 picks. And then I think in the mid-rounds, you talk day 2, early day 3, you're going to have a lot of guys that can make immediate differences, but they're not first-round guys.
All right, so that's offensive tackle. Then we move down to cornerback. 4 first-round grades, 15 cornerbacks. That's cornerbacks in the top 100. Edge rushers, 5 have first-round grades, 12 in the top 100. Linebacker, only 2 with first-round grades and only 7 with top 100 grades. That's pretty weak, wouldn't you think? Micah Parsons and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So linebacker looks like a weak position. Safety, 3 first-round picks, only 9 top 100 grades. So not as strong with the safety position. Interior defensive line, 2 first-round grades, 10 in the top 100. Interior offensive line, Gabe, just 1 with a first-round grade and only 4 in the top 100.
Unless he's Quentin Nelson. You generally don't take interior line in the first round, though, to be fair.
And then finally, tight end.
It's really just Notre Dame guys that have been taken.
And by the way,
because Zach Martin and it's Notre Dame produces the interior offensive linemen that go in the first round.
Speaking of Notre Dame, they have 3 prospects now. They have 3 guys of their 5 on O-line that'll be taken in day 1 or day 2.
Wow. All right, tight end, final position. First round grades, 1. Top 100 grades, 2. But Kyle Pitts, being that first round grade, could be a game changer for a franchise. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration, for all your roofing and home repair needs. They can change your game as well. You got a problem with your roof, you call Brandon McCullough today at 901-438-5084 or check them out online at newroofmemphis.com. They're going to come out and do a free roof inspection. They offer financing with many different plans and options to choose from, including a 6, 12, or 18-month, same as cash option to work with your insurance company or out of pocket. Pinnacle does both residential and commercial roofing. So business owners, property managers, and of course homeowners, if you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They are licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. Pinnacle is part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active or retired, you get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof, and all their work is satisfaction guaranteed. They can do all types of work around the home. They can install shingles, exterior painting, carpentry work. They can replace gutters, put up fencing and siding, rotten wood repair. Your one-stop shop for all your home repair needs. It's Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration. Call Brandon today. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Middays. 901-438-5084 or online at newroofmemphis.com. When we return, the game show that has swept the nation 10 in a row. If you'd like to play, a chance to win a nice prize package, you jump on the phone lines right now at 360-8255. First Bank phone line, 360-8255. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 98.5.
Let Dave Voloshin and Brett Nordsworthy take you home with Sports Time on Sports 56. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 on Sports 56, 98.5, and 96.1.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Need to sell your home? You're in luck because I buy houses. All you have to do is call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pin, 901-406-1101, or just save it in your phone. Bill at I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses buys houses in any area, in any condition, at any time. As simple as that. I Buy Houses is guaranteed to close in 5 days. So if you need your cash fast, just call Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. Has your house been on the market? Were you just tired of renters? Or is it just time to start over? Well, avoid repairing, cleaning, painting, and prepping your house. Just pick up the phone and call Bill at 901-406-1101. That's Bill at I Buy Houses. If you're in Southwind, South Memphis, North Mississippi, North Memphis, Collierville, if you can hear this, just call my friend Bill at I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101.
Join us and get vaccinated on Friday, April 16th and Saturday, April 17th during our community vaccination days at the Pipkin Building from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Receive a $20 Kroger or Walmart gift card, Grizzly swag, and BOGO McDonald's coupons while supplies last. Join us and get vaccinated on Friday, April 16th and Saturday, April 17th during our community vaccination days at the Pipkin Building from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. This Friday and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at the Pipkin, located at the Liberty Bowl Stadium.
Hi, I'm Tito Beverage, founder and master distiller at Tito's Handmade Vodka. In 1997, I started the first micro distillery in the state of Texas with my dog, Dog Joe, at my side. We're still working with dogs out at the distillery after all these years. Learn more about how dogs are a part of life here at Tito's Handmade Vodka at vodkafordogpeople.com. Tito's Handmade Vodka is made from corn and naturally gluten-free. Cheers. 80 proof Tito's Handmade Vodka, distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. Tito'sVodka.com.
First Bank is here to help you, whether you're a business looking for a loan to expand or refinance an existing one, a homeowner looking for a mortgage or home equity line, a consumer wanting to finance your dream car, or wanting a competitive rate on your CD deposits. Let First Bank try to handle your banking needs. Stop into one of First Bank's 3 local branches today, 6482 Poplar Avenue, just east of International Paper, 8398 Highway 64 across from Wolf Chase, and 6280 Highway 64 in Oakland. Or check them out online at firstbankonline.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Get to destinations unknown in your new ride from Gossett Mitsubishi 1870 Covington Pike. Get 43 MPG Highway and 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage. We Gossett at $12,997 or $133 a month, and it's not a lease. You own it. Dream big and drive further in your all-new 2022 Eclipse Cross, $23,373 or $284 a month, and exceed all expectations in your 2022 Outlander, $31,919 or $409 a month. Plus, we build it with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 2.79%. Mirage MH002-807. MSRP 16865. Eclipse NZ03094. MSRP 26325. Outlander NZ05802. MSRP 34935. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. Got some NFL win totals out from William Hill. We'll talk about that a little bit later on in the hour. Aaron Torres at 12:05 from Fox Sports. And we are scheduled to be joined by Earl Timberlake at 12:30, one of the new members of the Memphis Tigers basketball program. But right now, we need you to jump on the phone lines at 360-8255. First Bank phone line is available for all. You are all welcome to play 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It's the game show that has swept the nation. It's 10 in a row. What are our great listeners playing for today, Eli?
Today, for the winner of 10 in a row, they're going to get $25 in gift certificates to Sunrise. Fantastic breakfast and lunch place on Jefferson. And also with the $25 to Sunrise, going to throw in $50 to 117 Prime downtown. So 25 to Sunrise, 50 to 117 Prime. If you do the simple math, that's $75. $75 of goodness going to the winner of 10 in a row.
I had somebody the other day come up to me and said the best breakfast is sunrise.
Oh, gosh, it's awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. That's $7.50 for every correct answer.
Yeah, so why wouldn't you want to win? 360-8255. We're going college football for a question today from the world of college football. College football programs who have a new head coach for the 2021 season. College football programs who have a new head coach for the 2021 season. For example, if I said Memphis, what would the answer be, Eli?
Well, I assume you're only talking about the head coach.
I am
so
only
therefore
talking
it would
about
be,
the head
would
coach.
be no.
You're right. College football programs who have a new head coach for the 2021 season. Not that difficult. 360-8255. Again, $75 worth of gift certificates to great eating establishments in downtown Memphis. What more can you ask for? I could ask for some callers. That's what I can ask for at 360-8255 if you'd like to play 10 in a row.
360-8255. Again, $25 to Sunrise and $50 to 117 Prime on the line for the winner of 10 in a row today. Yeah, I think that should be a fairly easy category.
I think so. I mean, there wasn't a ton of new coaches, or there isn't a ton of new coaches that are coaching at a new school this year in division. And I'm not, doing anything but FBS. Not going FCS or anything crazy here. So I think this is.
So Eddie George does not count?
Eddie George, no. I did not use Tennessee State.
360-8255. Come on, folks. Play 10 in a row. Chance to win some great food.
In the meantime, I'm not going to sit here
Speaking
and wait.
of coaching, by the way, Kansas has said they are going to hire a new coach. Not going to go with the interim for the season. So somebody. Now, I guess that technically they may not hire somebody who's already a head coach. But if they go hire somebody who's a head coach, that means a program is going to lose its head coach here in April or May.
Yeah.
And like Lance Leopold, Jeff Monken, Willie Fritz are the names that keep coming up. So one of those schools could lose a head coach after spring practice. You could have your head coach spring practice and then leave for another job.
Well, it's like
and people wonder why they want this rule for the athletes to be able to leave. Well, if one of these coaches leaves after coaching spring practice, that will tell you why they want athletes to be able to leave as well.
Yeah, we were just talking about players who may leave after spring football. So if a coach is going to leave, yeah, actually, absolutely.
And again, they may not hire one; they may hire an assistant from somewhere or whatever. But nonetheless, like somebody's probably going to lose either a high assistant or a head coach after spring practice if Kansas does indeed, and they say they are going to hire their new permanent head coach at some point before the season.
They might give me a call. Y'all might lose a producer.
They listen. I'm not sure if I would recommend you taking the Kansas job, though, Gabe. If you're asking me, I think you probably should wait for a better opportunity.
Are you saying Gabe will be back in 2 years, knocking on your door for a job back?
I just wouldn't want that Kansas job. I just wouldn't want the Kansas job. That's all I know. 360-8255, 360-8255 to play 10 in a row. Again, $25 to Sunrise, $50 to 117 Prime, going to the winner. And first up is going to be Paul. Hello, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Morning, guys. How's it going?
Going well. Again, I don't think this is that hard. College football programs who have a new head coach for the 2021 season. South Florida.
Yes.
Maybe it is a little harder than I thought. 360-8255. 360-8255. Not a good start there.
Not a good start at all. We do have a couple of open lines right now, folks, so you can get in line again at 360-8255 as Mark takes a swing at it.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, guys.
Let's see if we can do a little better here. Connecticut.
Yes.
360-8255. See, I couldn't just put Alabama and Clemson and Ohio State.
That would have been quite remarkable if the coach at Connecticut got fired when they didn't play last season. If you get fired for not playing, it's the best season Connecticut's had in forever.
That's former Terp head coach and now two-time head coach at Connecticut, Randy Edsall.
Yeah, he's again he had the best year Connecticut football's had in a long, long time.
Stellar,
last year.
Unbeaten.
360-8255. Michael is next.
Hey, Michael.
Hello.
Hey, Michael, college football programs who have a new head coach for the 2021 season, this upcoming season. South Florida.
No.
Ole Miss.
No.
Purdue.
Yes.
360-8255.
Next up, we do have a couple of open lines right now. Again, folks, so get at 360-8255. $25 for Sunrise and $50 at 117 Prime that are going to the winner of 10 in a row. And let's see if Kevin can be that winner. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, Kev.
Hey, guys. What's going on? Hey, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, absolutely. College football programs who have a new head coach for this season, 2021 season.
Okay.
All right. Connecticut.
No.
Marshall.
Yes.
Nebraska.
No.
Texas.
Yes.
NC State.
No.
Nevada.
Yes.
Wah, 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 wah.
Good run, though. That's a good run. And now we're making progress. Now we're getting somewhere.
Thank you, Kevin. You got us somewhere. Wish you had won, but
that was a tough one. Nevada's a tough one. It's not a program that a lot of folks here are going to pay a whole lot of attention to.
I'm not trying to fool anybody. I mean, these are FBS schools. Didn't go crazy with other divisions and things of that nature, and I couldn't just use all the big boys.
360-8255, and next up is Brad. Hello, Brad.
Hey, Brad.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
We got you. College football programs who have a new head coach for this season, for the 2021 season. South Florida.
So it's just in South Florida. It's not just
No.
The University of South Florida.
University of South Florida. Do they,
yes or no? Do they have a new
yes
coach?
or no?
No.
Ole Miss.
No.
Purdue.
No.
UAB.
Yes.
360-8255.
No, Bill Clark's name mentioned a lot, but he has not left there.
No, he has not.
Let's see. Next up is Jim. Hello, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hello.
All right,
Hello.
Here we go. You ready? You ready to rock and roll, Jim?
Ready.
Connecticut.
Ready.
Connecticut.
No.
Marshall.
Yes.
Nebraska.
No.
Texas.
Excuse me, who?
Texas.
Yes.
NC State.
No.
Nevada.
No.
South Carolina.
Yes.
Louisiana Monroe.
Yes.
Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Liberty.
No.
Give me Liberty or give me a win.
Jim, I really appreciate Jim providing his own little clock, it sounds like, in the background, ticking it like it was on a timer. I was very well.
His turn signal.
Very well done there. It was almost like there is no time limit necessarily, but it just kind of added a nice little special effect to that. Jim, congratulations. You are a winner. Hold on. All right, we got 3 guys on hold. I'll give Drew, Dion, and Josh a second chance here.
Okay.
Drew is first. Hey, Drew.
Hi, Drew.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. South Florida.
No.
Ole Miss.
No.
Purdue.
No.
UAB.
No.
Boise State.
Yes.
Hawaii.
Ooh. No.
Colorado.
No.
Auburn.
Yes.
UCF.
Yes.
Coastal Carolina.
No.
There you go.
Yeah, it's 2
Mowed
weeks.
him down.
2 weeks in a row, we've had a second chance winner. Drew, congratulations. We'll hook you up with some prizes as well. Hold on. Dion and Josh, sorry. Can't do third chance.
There's always next Friday.
There is always next Friday.
Good stuff. Slow start. Then we got on a roll. And the last 2 callers killed it. So good job by everyone involved.
Congratulations to our 2 winners, and that's how we do it for 10 in a row. And enjoy yourself at Sunrise as well as 117 Prime. Hey, moving is not usually a fun experience. It's always great to, if you're moving into a great new place or whatever, but the actual process of moving, that could be tough. It can be stressful, but Black Tie Moving will take as much of that worry away from you and just take care of it, make it as easy on you as it possibly can be. Whether you're just moving across town, if you're moving across country, maybe it's your home, maybe it's your office, whatever it is, the folks at Black Tie Moving, they sit down with you. You get your own moving concierge that's going to go through a plan of what you need. Exactly what do you need? What do you want from them? How much do you want them to do for you? If you need them to do everything, pack, unpack, everything, they can do that for you. Maybe you want to do all the packing and unpacking. You just need them to move the stuff. Whatever it is, you're not going to pay for all the extra stuff that you don't need. You sit down, you devise a plan that works for you, works for your budget, and they also have that concierge available for you 24/7 throughout the process to answer any questions that you might have. You can give them a call at 901-316-6196 or go to blacktiemoving.com/Memphis. You can get a free, no obligation quote from those moving experts and know exactly what it would cost for your whatever it is that you need. And again, there's no obligation. They've got an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, all kinds of 5-star ratings online. These are the professionals. They are the ones who know what they're doing. And again, they're going to take care of your belongings and make sure that everything is done to your satisfaction. It's Black Tie Moving, 901-316-6196 or blacktiemoving.com/Memphis.
All right, pre-draft NFL win totals for 2021 from William Hill. We'll go over that when we return. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 98.5.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ. Listen to us daily on AM 560, 98.5 FM, and 96.1 FM.
I'm so excited that baseball is back, and there's nothing like watching a game with great weather, a cold drink, and a little action on FanDuel Sportsbook. If you've never bet on baseball before, now is the perfect time. FanDuel is letting new users swing for the fences risk-free. You'll get up to $1,000 back in site credit if your first bet doesn't win. And once you have an account, you can get up to $25 back each day in site credit if your same-game parlay bet falls one leg short. There's a reason FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 sportsbook. The app is simple to use. They've got great odds and always on promotions to let you get more action. And when you win, FanDuel will pay you your winnings in as little as 24 hours. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code CASH to get in on the action. Must be 21 or older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only for risk-free bet. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789.
Golfers, tee it up this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops with the hottest new arrivals from Callaway. Introducing the new Callaway Epic Drivers, featuring new jailbreak SpeedFriend technology designed with artificial intelligence for epic ball speeds across the entire face. Now with 3 drivers to fit any golfer's needs. Swing by Edwin Watts Golf Shops and get custom fit today. Edwin Watts Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, and shop us online at worldwidegolfshops.com.
If ever there was a time for comfort food, this is it. And there's no comfort food like Sunrise on Jefferson. Fresh-made breakfast featuring Sunrise's signature homemade square biscuits or the huge selection of hot, fresh, and fast lunch items are all part of what has always made Sunrise the most comforting of comfort foods in Memphis. Of course, everything that can be done to keep you and the staff safe at Sunrise is a top priority. And you can always order ahead and get delicious Sunrise to go. At a time this confusing, it's good to know there's one thing you can count on: Sunrise.
Jeff Allen, my man, what's happening over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
All I can say, Randy, it's the right time to buy your new Kia at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah. I've got a 2021 Kia Forte, 41 MPG, or $129 a month lease, just $31.99 due at signing. And a 2021 Kia Soul, $159 per month lease, $30.99 due at signing.
And I see you got 2021 Kia K5 built in America, $184 a month lease, $30.99 due at signing. They're all 36-month leases.
Plus our industry-leading 10-year, 100,000 5,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, and let's not forget Senatobia, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 36-month leases, 0 security deposit, 650 acquisition fee, Forte, ME344-837, MSRP 20,655. Sold M777-2135, MSRP 21,130. K5 MG 005560, MSRP 25,725. 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
2021 is finally here. Might I suggest we start the wonderful new year with a makeover for your beautiful house. I'm Brian Elder. I'm a roofer. I fix roofs. Don't let them tell you that it has to be replaced when all it may need is some love. 867-0303. Let me love on your roof. I've made quite the reputation over the last decade as the guy to call after the insurance company denies the claim. Overturning a claim that has gone bad is an art form where you argue county code, manufacturer specs, and details of your policy that they have to abide by. So let me see it first. If I say it's a claim, it's a claim. 867-0303. Money is free at Brian Elder Roofing with 0% financing for half a decade. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you a quote right over the phone. 867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. This hour of Sports 56 Middays is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
All right, we got NFL win projections. I know it's pre-draft. It's very early in the game, but William Hill has put this out, and I'm going to test your knowledge on this, Eli. Remember, 17-game regular season. There'll only be 3 preseason games. Wish there was only 2, but 17 regular season games. They break it down by division, and let's see how good you are with this. This is, again, you're trying to get into the brains, the mind of the William Hill people. AFC East, the Bills. How many wins? And they do have halves. So
10.5.
Right on. Dolphins.
9.
Are you looking at this?
Yeah.
You cheater. Damn it.
I actually already know the ones I would bet. I think the Bills, I would go over that 10.5 for sure with Buffalo.
Remember, 17 games. So the Dolphins are 9, the Patriots are 9, and the Jets are 6.
I love over 10.5 for the Bills. I love under 9 for the Patriots.
All right, let me quiz Gabe Kuhn, who's hopefully not looking at this. AFC North, Gabe, Ravens.
11.
Correct.
Are you looking at it too? Yeah.
Damn you guys. Nobody wants to have fun anymore. Browns 10, Steelers 9, Bengals 6.5.
Really, the big question I had was, should I miss by a half on every one just to make it sound like I'm not didn't know all of these?
And normally I say, have you seen this yet? And this time I didn't. For some reason,
I like the Steelers under 9.
Under 9.
Yeah, Ben another year older.
Who's running the ball?
They can't run the ball. They couldn't run the ball last. Connor wasn't any good. Benny Snell was probably better than him last year, but they don't run. They can't run the ball. Their defense loses Dupree, and after he went out with the injury last year, they were terrible on defense. I don't think the Steelers are very good at all.
Can the Browns win more than 10?
I think the Browns certainly have a chance to.
How about the Eagles at 7?
We haven't got there yet. Wait.
Oh, geez. Okay. I was saying under.
I'm going to go through all of them here. AFC South, and I'm not quizzing you guys because you're both looking at it. Colts 10, Titans 9.5, Jaguars 6, Texans 5. I would think that there's a good chance the Colts and the Titans could go over.
Could, yeah. I wouldn't be willing to bet either one of them. Texans are interesting because if with all the stuff going on with Deshaun Watson, I don't think they could trade him. If they can, and he can avoid suspension or anything else, and ends up playing the full season for the Texans, then you'd have to take them over 5.
New coach, still have some weapons. AFC West, Chiefs are at 12, so they expect the Chiefs to go 12-5. Chargers 9, Raiders 8, Broncos 7.5. What about that one, Gabe, with the Chiefs at 12? So 12-5. Are they going to lose 5?
I wouldn't be comfortable over or under. I wouldn't play that one.
So you think that's just too high a number?
I think that's a pretty good number, to be honest.
All right, NFC East. Cowboys 9.5, Washington 8, Giants 7, Eagles 7. Hey, they got the NFC East all with, no, they don't. Giants and Eagles both losing records at 7 and 10. Washington at 8 and 9. And then the Cowboys, they got them at 9.5. So, again, it's going to be a lot of what we saw last year with that division.
I would go under on the Cowboys, over on Washington.
I'm sorry. I'd go under on Philly. How are they going to win games? What? Jalen Hurts going to take them there? I'm sorry.
They get to play that division. But you get to play that division. That's the thing.
So you have no faith in Jalen Hurts?
I wouldn't say no faith, but very limited faith.
Okay.
In Jalen Hurts.
NFC North, Packers 11, Vikings 8.5, Bears 7.5, Lions 5. With Jared Goff running the club now.
None of those strike my fancy as anything I would be willing to bet.
NFC South, defending Super Bowl champion Buccaneers at 11.5, Saints at 9.5, Panthers at 7.5, Falcons at 7.
Give the Saints under 9.5.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I mean, they got to figure it out with the quarterback. Is it going to be Winston? Is it going to be Taysom? Is it going to be both?
I don't see why either of those guys can't do what Drew Brees did last year. It's not like Drew Brees was lighting up the league last year.
Look, you got to look at the rest of the division when you come up with these numbers, right? They got Falcons winning 7, Panthers 7.5.
I think defensively the Saints can still take them over that number possibly.
NFC West, and this is the best division. Rams 10.5, 49ers 10, Seahawks 10, Cardinals 8. Wow. Wowza.
49ers under 10.
49ers under 10. How about the Cardinals over 8? Are the Cardinals going to have a losing record? All the moves they made? Aren't we believing more in Kyler Murray now? Cardinals at 8?
But for a big part, I mean, look at what they have to play in the division.
Yeah, I don't know about the Seahawks, though. I'm not so sure about the Seahawks. And I wonder if this will be it for Wilson. If there's discord and he's getting hit a lot.
With the Cardinals, though, I think you're going to have to see a couple weeks before you make a decision because they did, while they did address needs, they got a bunch of old guys.
Yeah.
A.J. Green, J.J. Watt. You have to see if those guys can still produce at a high level.
I mean, A.J. Green hasn't done anything last 2-3 years. Like he wasn't even he was like the Bengals' like third best receiver.
Right.
Like it was, he's not even a factor.
They still have DeAndre Hopkins, and he is a factor.
Speaking of the NFC West and the NFL, there is video that Aaron Donald's lawyer has, and it has been released on, I think either a TV station or something had it, that basically shows that Aaron Donald, not only did he not attack the guy who was saying he attacked him, he actually helped save the guy because the guy was being attacked by a bunch of other people, and Aaron Donald came in there to try and get those people off of him.
Wow. How about
According to Donald's lawyer, this guy was what was his name? Something Spriggs. He swung a bottle. DeVincent Spriggs swung a bottle at Donald. Donald's friends got him away. These other people attacked Spriggs, and then the video clearly shows Donald coming in there and getting those people off of him. And then somebody grabs Donald and pulls him back out of there again. But Donald was actually trying to rescue the guy, and the guy's accusing him of being the one who attacked him.
Yes, and that's not a surprise because even though the guy apparently now with video proves that he was not attacked by Donald, he sees money. That's what he sees. So let's go ahead. Maybe they don't have any video. Let's go sue this guy because he makes so much money, and let's see if we can get a settlement. and make a little quick cash.
Do you think there could be a countersuit from Aaron Donald?
I don't know how much he wants to drag this thing in.
I don't. I think Donald. I don't know. There will be no charges filed, and the guy won't. There will be no. Anything else will be thrown. I think Donald. What Donald's lawyer said is he immediately said, like, from the beginning, like, I'm not paying anybody. Like, I didn't do anything.
Exactly. Lawns are just now starting to wake up and come out of dormancy. Now is the time to call Lawn Solutions. They have a specialized hand-selected program that will help with this transformation. The rain that we've been having is promoting disease in some lawns already. We can diagnose and treat any disease on your lawn and landscape. Not to mention, the weather is warming up, waking up a lot of insects that can damage your lawn and landscape. We can help with that as well. We are your locally family-owned and operated lawn care company. We don't mow lawns, folks. We take care of your lawn in a way that others don't. We get rid of those insects, and we make sure those weeds are gone. Folks can call or text us at 867-5626. That's 901-867-5626, or fill out an estimate online at lawnsolutions.net. We don't use dye that stains fences and houses, driveways, and even pets like other companies. Our products are kid and pet friendly. It's Lawn Solutions. Again, 867-5626, and on the web at lawnsolutionsinc.net. When we come back, our final hour this week, Aaron Torres from Fox Sports, and then Earl Timberlake, one of the new Memphis Tigers basketball players, at 12:30. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
You ready for a new ride? We Gossett at Gossett Kia Covington Pike, and Bobby J is the man to put you in a new Kia today. It's less than $5 a day. 2021 Kia Forte, $129 a month lease, $31.99 due at signing. Find your soulmate with 2021 Kia Soul, $159 a month lease, $3,099 due at signing. And 2021 Kia K5, built in America, $184 a month lease, $3,099 due at signing. All 36-month leases. Plus, peace of mind you can trust with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike. Shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we Gossett at Gossett Motor Cars.
36-month leases, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, Forte, ME344-837, MSRP $20,655. Sold M777, $2135, MSRP $21,130. K5, MG 005560, MSRP $25,725. 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF $695. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. You've heard me talk about how we offer the best products, the best warranties, and the best services for years. Now let's talk about pricing. Pricing should never be the only reason you hire a contractor, but in today's world, pricing is always a consideration. So we suggest you get 2 or 3 estimates for your roof replacement from a reputable, licensed, and insured company, and then give us a call. If we can't beat your best price for a comparable roof system by more than $100, we'll give you $100. It's that simple. We are so sure we can offer you the best price, beating all other qualified companies, we will hand you $100 if we can't, and thank you for the opportunity. So give us a call. What's the worst thing that's going to happen? Make $100? Fiveash Roof Services, a proud supporter of Tiger Athletics and the official roofer of the Tigers home team. Fiveash Roof Services, fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing is what we do. We're here for you.
This is a job alert. If you're looking for work, this will interest you, whether you're looking for full-time, part-time, or even something temporary if you've been recently furloughed. Text 107-JOB to 49330. That's 107-JOB to 49330. Office work available now in a clean office environment with all COVID precautions taken. Text 107-JOB to 49330 and someone will be in touch about these job opportunities available now. Text 107-JOB to 49330.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately?
everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal housing lender.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, W253DF Memphis, and WIVG Tunica Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Everyone's watching to see what you do. Everyone's looking at you. Oh.
Well, welcome back, everybody. 12:03 at the time. Final hour for us today here on Sports 56 Middays. Aaron Torres will join us in just a moment. And I think I may have screwed up the whole Earl Timberlake interview. We're trying to get that straightened out. I had the Eastern time, Central time thing messed up. This is all on me, not on Earl. So if we can get this thing rectified, we'll have him on at 12:30. If not, we'll have to reschedule for next week. But my gosh, I don't know how many times I do that. So my apologies for that. As far as the you got to deal with different time zones, and it's pretty easy. And I seem to always get that mixed up. So anyway, apologies. Hopefully we can get her on. Man, oh man.
Just so you know, Greg, it's they're an hour ahead.
I know.
It's 1:04 there right now.
I know. And Aaron, I think, is out on the West Coast, if I'm not mistaken. So he is 2 hours behind. But my gosh, it's just, we'll see if we can get that straightened out. But right now, without further ado, he's a good friend of the show. He's Aaron Torres, college hoops and college football writer, the Aaron Torres podcast, and host on Fox Sports Radio. Always great to talk college hoops and college football with Aaron, who joins us now on Middays. Aaron, how are you?
Good, Greg. It sounds like, there's two kinds of guests. Ones that are always on time and punctual, and you mess up, and then there's guys like me that I say, yeah, I'll be ready to go, and then I bail on you at 2 minutes right before the segment. So apologize about that, my man.
No problem whatsoever. Yeah, we were scheduled to have Earl Timberlake on, who's one of the new Memphis Tigers. And, he was ready at 11:30, and I'm sitting here thinking 12:30, so I'm going to try to straighten that out here as we talk to you. But, yeah, that's a nice pickup for Memphis with Earl, who had some injury issues last year, but I'm sure a guy you're very familiar with coming out of DeMatha that was supposed to be even a one-and-doner. It didn't materialize that way in Miami. But they're able to get him, Penny Hardaway, of course, replacing a number of guys who have hit the transfer portal and have since joined other schools. And they also got the young man from Hampton, Warren, who is a real good scorer. What about Timberlake? Do you know much about him to talk to our listeners about?
Yeah, to me, I mean, he feels like, a pretty good equivalent to replace DJ Jeffries. And it's interesting because unless I missed something, I think DJ Jeffries is still in the portal, right, Greg, as of right now?
Yes.
He's not committed? Okay.
I think he has said he's going to announce Monday.
Oh, okay. All right. Get a little update there. Thank you. I've been in there for a few weeks now, so I'm not surprised that it's coming pretty quick. But no, listen, it's what you said, Greg. Is he's a powerful player. He's kind of a stocky wing, and I think he's really good. Obviously he didn't play a ton this year, as you referenced, because of injuries. But there was a reason he was so highly touted. It clearly did not work out at Miami. And I think he's looking for a fresh home. The only thing that really stands out to me is, NBA body, NBA size, NBA length. I don't think he's a great three-point shooter, which is something he'll have to work on and have success at the next level. But to your point, Greg, I think he is a very good piece. And, I give Penny Hardaway credit. I mean, you lose DJ Jeffries, who obviously, injury-plagued time at Memphis in his own right. He never looked right to me this year, even though I know he played quite a bit. And I'm excited to see both his future, but also Memphis' future with Earl Timberlake.
Aaron, what are your thoughts on now that we've seen already the transfer portal's been jam packed, but now that the NCAA has officially put this one-time transfer rule in?
Well, I'll be honest, I've never liked it. I've been pretty outspoken about this for really the last 2, 3, 4 years when it became something that looked like it was going to be a reality. My stance has not changed. I think, this is why guys like Greg like me, because I stand up for what I believe in. It's why I drive other people crazy, because I won't bow down to, the common narrative is, my stance has been pretty consistent for about 3, 4 years now. If your coach gets fired, if your coach leaves, if something like that happens, then I believe you should be allowed to leave and play without having to sit out. Otherwise, I think just about everybody else should have to sit out. Now, there's always extenuating circumstances, and I know that's how we got into this waiver process in the first place. But I don't think sitting out is the worst thing for players. Davion Mitchell, who was arguably the best player in the NCAA tournament this year at Baylor, sat out for a year. And I remember talking to Scott Drew about him before he had ever played a game at Baylor, and he said him and Maceo Teague, who are both starters, both sat out at Baylor, were great practice players, great teammates. The season away from basketball allowed them to mature individually. It allowed them to be great practice players, again, great teammates. It allowed them to kind of get a feel for the school and the system, and then they stepped in and they were plug and play. They stepped in and had immediate success. I would add on top of that, I don't know. I don't think it's the worst thing for people to sit out. I think in another important part that nobody talks about, and, we talk about, creating opportunities for young people and, putting people in position to succeed post-basketball. What this actually does is it's going to hurt graduation rates. It's something I've heard from a lot of coaches across the board is that, listen, a lot of us did transfer in college. And, one thing when you transfer, you lose credits. Not everything transfers over. And if we're being perfectly honest, most of the kids that are in the transfer portal are going to need a college degree at some point in their careers. They're not the guys that are going to be making $200 million over the course of an NBA contract and never have to work post-basketball life if they want. So to me, I don't think it's a good rule. I don't think coaches want it, but nobody can say anything because if you do, you're immediately crushed publicly. But I don't think it's a good rule. I don't think it's the worst thing for kids to sit out. Again, I've talked to Obi Toppin about this. He took an academic red shirt. I've talked to Malik Flynn about this, who's thriving in the NBA. Sitting out is not the worst thing in the world. But I'll also say is I came full circle on this. I thought it was funny that this year, all of a sudden, a bunch of media members that for years had been, the players should be able to do whatever they wanted, were now some people complaining about how crazy the transfer portal was. I came to accept it. I moved on. I've changed my coverage. I follow transfers now more than I ever have before because I know it's what the fans want. I don't like the rule, but guess what? Mark Emmert never called me before he put the rubber stamp on yesterday. So I learned to adjust to it, but, my stance on that has never really changed over the course of the last 3, 4, 5 years.
Aaron, did you happen to catch the story about the new league that Kevin Ollie's going to be involved in and now another opportunity for players to go play and make money without having to go to college?
I did. I saw the initial press release and I saw Kevin Ollie's involvement the other day. I think it'll be really interesting to see what the interest is because, listen, and this was something that I tweeted, again, another thing that was really unpopular on Twitter that I had people from shoe companies, people from the NBA, people from college reach out to me and thank me for saying it. The best thing that ever happened to Jalen Suggs was hitting that shot at Gonzaga, even though he didn't win the national championship. That single shot has made him so much money over the course of his shoe contract, over the course of the fact that, he went from probably the 7th, 8th pick in the preseason, came to college, played on the stage that Gonzaga provided. And I bring all that up to just say, I keep seeing all these other opportunities pop up, and I don't doubt that some kids are going to take advantage of it. But I also think we learned again this year what a great stage college basketball is as a platform for these young people. We saw it 2 years ago with Zion. Last year, obviously, was a weird deal where, I think if there's an NCAA tournament, a lot of things are different and a lot of things are perceived differently. But, I think in the grassroots community, if you will, listen, I can tell you, there's going to be some families that just want a paycheck, and that's fine. But I think there's also, I talked to the parent of one prominent recruit this year that's like, why am I going to send my son off the grid where all he's going to do is practice and NBA people are going to be looking under the hood and picking him apart. I'll send him to XYZ school. He'll play on national TV 25, 30 times a game, 35 times a year, because let's be honest, everybody in college basketball, especially the Dukes, the Carolinas, the Kentuckys, the UCLAs, and he's one of those kinds of kids, they're going to get way more exposure playing at Kentucky or Kansas or UCLA than anybody in the NBA except for maybe the Lakers. And so, I'm curious. I'm curious because I think behind the scenes there's this movement of, they don't need to go to college. And then it's like college basketball proves every single year it has made Evan Mobley a lot of money. It's made Jalen Suggs a lot of money. And I'm hearing from some of the people in grassroots, like, there were some kids that were going to go pro, and then they saw what the NCAA tournament did for so many people, and they're starting to have second thoughts and are now considering college in a way that maybe they weren't 4, 5, 6 months ago.
By the way, let me that DJ Jeffries, I don't know that he actually said he's going to announce Monday. There seems to be a lot of people that believe he might be announcing Monday, but I don't think he actually said that. So let me correct on that.
Let me ask you guys really quick. I think he'll be a really good player somewhere. To me, he did not look the same this year as last year. I know his numbers were just a little bit down. But from my perspective, I thought he was really good as a freshman. And this year I thought he was kind of out of shape, not as fluid. And I don't blame him, by the way. He had major surgery. I get it. He was out for a significant amount of time. But I think if he's going to be healthy, I think he's going to be a really good player somewhere. Am I crazy to say that?
Well, look, he has all the potential in the world. He's a heck of an athlete. But what I think he lacks, or at least what we saw from what he had brought to Memphis, was the lack, I think, of toughness, of strength, of finishing with power. I mean, he can dunk over anybody for the most part. And it just seemed like he was a little bit soft. I hate to use that term, but he wasn't all there as far as that's concerned. If he can find that mean streak and that toughness, I think DJ has a lot of potential.
Very good. No, I was just curious from your guys' perspective because, obviously, obviously, especially his freshman year when he was playing, we were all watching a ton because Memphis at the time was in the top 25, all that stuff. He goes down about mid-year. The team struggles. And then this year, of course, much less hype, more off the grid. But, every time I watch that team, first of all, I don't think there's any debate. I felt bad with the way the season ended for Memphis fans and the players and the coaching staff because I don't think there's any debate. They were one of the 68 best teams with how well they played Houston over the final 2 weeks of the season. But, it shows you that it's a 5-month, 4-month grind. There were some bad losses early. The Auburn game, pre-Sharif Cooper jumps out to me. There were some other ones I can't remember off the top of my head. But it was a 4 or 5 month grind, and it was unfortunate because I really do think Memphis was one of the 68 best teams. And if they could get in the tournament with the way that they handled themselves against Houston in both of those games, I would have liked to see how they could have handled themselves as a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 seed. I don't think anybody would have wanted to play them.
Mississippi State fans, by the way, I think are completely convinced that they're getting DJ Jeffries.
That was the buzz that I've heard.
Yeah, for whatever that's their fans are all about it. I saw you tweet about the team on the other side of our state, and that's Tennessee, who's had a heck of a week, picking up a couple of big-time recruits. That Fulkerson announces he's going to come back. I mean, Tennessee looks like they're going to be loaded again next year.
Yeah, well, they are. The big question is, they listen. Even a Tennessee fan will tell you they underachieved this year, and so, this year I'll tell you, and I hate to say it because I love Rick Barnes, but I think he's starting to get into that territory again. I thought their biggest problem, and Tennessee fans will tell you, it was the offense, too many mid-range jumpers, which sounds like Calipari at Kentucky. I thought the biggest problem was they had too many good players, and I don't think at any point did they figure out a rotation this year, who's going to play, who's not, who plays well together, who doesn't. And what I liked is about 3-4 days ago, it seemed like they had a good core of about 7 guys, 8 guys. Now they've added 2 high-caliber high school players and John Fulkerson back. And by the way, you get John Fulkerson back, you take advantage of that every step of the way. Yep. You don't tell him he can't come back. But, I hope they're done recruiting at this point because, they had that was just what struck me about Tennessee is I just think they had too many guys last year. I don't think it worked out for whatever reason. And I'm curious to see because I think the talent is there. They have top 15 talent on their roster. But, sometimes it sounds crazy. Sometimes you can have too many talented players. I think that was their issue last year. I really do.
Aaron Torres joining us, college hoops and college football writer. Great podcast, the Aaron Torres podcast, also host on Fox Sports Radio. You can follow him on Twitter at _Torres. Want to get back to the Memphis Tigers. Couple of things. One, I know that Mac McClung, who is transferring and is in the portal, had previously looked at Memphis before deciding on Texas Tech. Kentucky, Gonzaga, Texas, Georgia, Florida, the Memphis Tigers, NC State, Boston College been named by Adam Zagoria as possibilities. What do you think about his landing spot?
Well, I'll tell you what's really interesting about his landing spot. One, he's obviously going to test the NBA draft waters, but if you guys read that press release about the one-time transfer rule last night, guess what? He's a one-time transfer, and there's no guarantee right now that he gets eligible next year. But, I think he will because he's probably, frankly, the most prominent, everybody knows who Mac McClung is. And so, what I would say is I just think, Texas Tech learned pretty early you have to take the good with the bad with him. And it was funny, I talked to Chris Beard over the summer, and he even hinted, our biggest thing with him is shot selection. Our biggest thing is, 20 points on 11 shots is a lot better than 20 points on 21 shots. And so, I think Texas Tech figured that out pretty early with him. I think that you have to take the good with the bad with him. He is going to take some low percentage shots. He is going to, just at some point in a game, just take a shot with, 22 seconds left on the shot clock, and you just kind of scratch your head and say, what are you doing? But on the flip side, there aren't too many guys in college basketball, let alone in the transfer portal at this point, that can pretty much get you a bucket whenever you need one. He can get to the rim. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but he was one of the leading free throw guys in the country. Texas Tech as a team was one of the top free throw shooting teams in the country in terms of total free throws. And it's because he can beat his guy off the dribble and get to the rim whenever he wants. And so, for me, I still think it's got to be the right fit. I think it's got to be somebody that's bought into letting him do what he's going to do. I don't know off the top of my head, Memphis, Gonzaga, Kentucky, who would be the perfect fit. But, it's kind of one of those deals. I'll give you guys a good example, okay? Johnny Juzang. I've known Johnny Juzang since he was a freshman in high school, the kid that was awesome at UCLA. Mm-hmm. And I never thought he'd be a fit at Kentucky because he's a kid that, as we saw in the NCAA tournament, he's got to heat himself up. He sometimes will miss the first 4 shots of the game, and you got to let him keep shooting because, as we saw, he might make the next 20 after the first 4. And, Mac McClung has kind of that same variable to him of you just have to accept the good with the bad. And there is bad, like every player, but as long as you buy into that, he can obviously be really good for you. And so I'll be curious to see if he plays college basketball next year, where he lands, how he fits. But, there's just not that many guys that have proven they can get you 15, 16, 17 points a game in a Power 5 league, and he's done it for several years now.
All right, and the other question about Memphis, the Lawsons, did they end up at Memphis?
You guys would know better than me, man. I don't know. I know it was several coaching staffs ago, when the bridges were officially burned. Mm-hmm. Obviously, when the youngest one decommitted from Oregon, that was pretty obvious. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I honestly can't even begin to speculate on that one. I don't know what the relationship between Penny Hardaway and the father is. I know that, again, those players left well before Penny Hardaway got there. But I wish I could give you a better answer, but I really don't know much about that one.
Aaron, you're on that new, and you mentioned with McClung, with this new transfer rule, is the graduate transfer thing still going to be there? So if you've already transferred once, but then you graduate, can you transfer again and immediately be eligible? Do you know?
My understanding is yes. So somebody like Mac McClung is a perfect example. He's just completed his junior year. Has already transferred, and I don't believe he's graduated. And so my understanding is that because he has not graduated yet, he is not immediately eligible at the next spot that he goes to. Now, again, I have a feeling that he'll put in a waiver and they'll figure out a way to get him eligible because they don't want the public backlash of not making him eligible. But, on the flip side, if he had transferred once but he has graduated and has eligibility left, then I do believe that he would still be able to play immediately. Yeah.
That's what I assumed, that they were still keeping that graduate transfer rule in there, but I hadn't seen anything explicitly explaining that.
I'll tell you guys really quick. I think there's a lot of public confusion about this. I heard Dick Vitale in the middle of a game, and he kind of asked this, and I think it's a question a lot of people don't know, is if DJ Jeffrey starts the year at Memphis and at the midway point decides to leave, Dick Vitale was like, so is he, if this one-time transfer, was he like immediately eligible that year? And that's something that I don't know the answer to. If you transfer in the middle of the year, I would assume that you can't just be playing for Memphis one day and then a week later in a uniform for Houston, but I don't even know. And so, and this is like my life. I mean, I think I know what I'm talking about on most of these topics, but what I don't know if I said it with you guys or somewhere else, but the NCAA, to me, it's so disappointing because they're just in such crisis mode of they just don't want any public backlash on anything, and they're just rubber stamping everything, saying yes to everything. I don't think it's for the good of the game. I don't think it's for the good of the sport. I don't think it's for the good of the athlete. I don't think it's for the good of their future. But, it is what it is. And so, but again, they're just rubber stamping everything, saying yes to everything. And I don't think, one, they're certainly not thinking about the long-term ramifications, repercussions, all that stuff. But on the flip side, I don't even think they're even able to answer basic questions like the question that you just had and the question that I have going forward.
Yeah, clarification would be nice if they actually knew what they were doing, and that may not be the case. May not be the case. All right, couple of more minutes with Aaron Torres. And I do want to hit you up with a football question here in a moment. But Tommy Lloyd, the decision to go with the Gonzaga longtime assistant by Arizona, when Eli and I both were a little dumbfounded. We thought it would absolutely be the continuing trend of a former player who's now a coach. We thought that maybe Damon Stoudemire or whoever at Arizona, and instead they go to the Gonzaga assistant.
Yeah, all I would say on that one is that basically, who else thought that was going to happen was every prominent Arizona alum going. And what I think was really interesting, they got real pushback there. And I'm not saying it's the right hire or the wrong hire. We can get to the hire in a minute. But what I'll tell you is that I was told that basically I think this was done long before Sean Miller was fired. And I was told by somebody that's close to Tommy Lloyd that he expected to be named the head coach on last Sunday, with an introductory press conference on Monday. And the holdup was largely that they were getting crushed publicly by their players and, their former players. And what I don't think people realize is, we think of Duke and Kentucky and all these schools as these NBA factories, and they are. But in terms of guys that have actual voices in basketball right now, Arizona's probably right up there with Duke. Duke has Billis and Grant Hill, so they're probably number one. But, I mean, you have Richard Jefferson, who's one of the most prominent voices at ESPN in the NBA. Gilbert Arenas has done a great job of building out podcast, video, YouTube platform, millions of downloads a week. Steve Kerr has a real voice in basketball. I don't know if he cares about the Arizona job at this particular moment. Luke Walton's an NBA head coach. They're like powerful people, and I think they were really mad. Two things. One, that they didn't have more of a say in their own program, and that they believed, I don't even think, I know because Richard Jefferson said it yesterday, that, they basically believed that Damon Stoudemire and Miles Simon were kind of sham interviews. And if you kind of look at the timeline, it makes sense where they fire Sean Miller on a Wednesday, and by Thursday they have both of those interviews knocked out. I know for a fact, Richard Jefferson said it yesterday. He said, this felt like the Rooney Rule. It felt like we're going to interview these guys because we have to. And the second that those interviews are done, we're going to name the guy that we wanted all along. And so I think Tommy Lloyd's going to be a good hire. I think the fact, look, he hasn't coached at any level. I mean, I criticized the Mike Woodson hire, but even Mike Woodson has been a head coach before at a very prominent level, obviously the NBA. So I think it'll work out. I think it'll be good. I don't think there's any way to know, though, until obviously the season starts. And I'll give him credit, man. I had heard mixed things about, he's known very much as an international recruiter, and I had heard mixed things about how good his relationships were domestically. And then I just logged on to social media a minute ago, and they got a 5-star in the 2022 class. So I guess he knows what he's doing, because that's a great way to make your presence felt as the Arizona head coach. But I think he'll be good, but it was a crazy week or so, because I think they were ready to make this announcement about 5-6 days ago and got some real pushback.
I think there may be something to that, but Lloyd does have that international recruiting flair, and he's going to bring some of those guys to Arizona. There's no question about it. All right, final thing for you. Got the draft in a couple of weeks, the NFL draft. after Trevor Lawrence, and I assume you believe, like everybody else and their mom, that Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback available. The next 4, what order would you put them in? And you know the 4 we're talking about. Lance, Fields, right? The same. Which order would you have those guys after Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, I mean, and this is all we're talking about on Fox Sports Radio right now. I would have Justin Fields number 2. I would. I don't understand what the big pushback on Justin Fields is. I think it's easy to forget this. I mean, nobody dealt with more turmoil than that guy. He was, forget the start and stop nature of the season. On top of that, first of all, they had 3 games canceled, 2 of them at the last minute. One game, he literally, Michigan State, you can look it up, played behind a backup offensive line. His entire offensive line was out with COVID. One game, Ryan Day, his primary play caller, and of course the head coach, was out with COVID. And so, you can understand why his numbers went down a little bit. And then, by the way, the biggest game of the season, second biggest game, I guess, he was awesome against who they play? Clemson. I was blanking.
Clemson, yes.
No, because I was thinking about Alabama, and I was like, who'd they play in the semifinal? But Clemson. So I would have him at number 2. I'll be honest. I'm a Mac Jones guy. You can find my tweets that, I get the fact that he played at Alabama. But 2 things. One, people say, well, anyone could do it with the receivers that he had. Well, he had the highest completion percentage in the history of FBS football this year. So don't tell me anyone could do it with his receivers, because nobody literally in the history of the sport has done what he did this year. I get it. I get those concerns, but I would have him at number 3, I guess. Number 4, Zach Wilson. I'll be honest. I think he's a really dynamic player. I think he's fun to watch. But look, I hosted Fox Sports Radio. I host on Saturday nights. All those BYU games were on when we were on air. I never once watched that guy and said, oh, that's the definitive number 2 pick in the draft. And I'm kind of stunned at how quickly he's gone up the boards. Number 5 is Trey Lance. I don't know how you can draft a quarterback that's played 1 game in, a year and a half and expect him to be any kind of contributor next year. Not saying that I don't understand the upside, because I do. But on the flip side, it's just, it's just hard for me to sit there as a fan of the NFL, see how many of these guys fail as it is, and not just sit there and say, this guy hasn't played in 18. He's played 1 game in 18 months. I personally couldn't do that unless I was a team like the Saints or whoever that was trying to look for their next quarterback.
He is Aaron Torres. Check him out on Fox Sports Radio on Saturday nights over the weekends. And also his podcast is terrific, the Aaron Torres Podcast, college hoops and college football writer. He is Aaron Torres. Follow him on Twitter at Aaron_Torres. Aaron, as always, man, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
You too. Take care of yourself. FanDuel Sportsbook, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so excited that baseball is back. There's nothing like watching a game, great weather, cold drink, and a little action on FanDuel Sportsbook. If you've never bet on baseball before, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. FanDuel is letting new users swing for the fences risk-free. You'll get up to $1,000 back in site credit if your first bet doesn't win. And once you have an account, you can get up to $25 back each day in site credit if your same-game parlay bet falls 1 leg short. This way, you can combine multiple baseball bets for an even bigger win all season long. There is a reason FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 sportsbook. The app is simple to use. They've got great odds on all different betting markets, unique fun bet types like same-game parlays, and always-on promotions to let you get more action out of every game day. And when you win, FanDuel will pay you your winnings in as little as 24 hours. You can't beat that. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code GASMAN to get in on the action. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code GASMAN. Must be 21 and over. Present in Tennessee. First online real money wager only for risk-free bet. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Restrictions apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problem? Call Tennessee Redline at 1-800-889-9789. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1, and 98.5.
Listen online anywhere, anytime at sports56whbq.com.
Get to destinations unknown in your new ride from Gossett Mitsubishi 1870 Covington Pike. Get 43 MPG Highway and 2021 Mitsubishi Mirage. We Gossett at $12,997 or $133 a month. And it's not a lease, you own it. Dream big and drive further in your all-new 2022 Eclipse Cross. $23,373 or $284 a month. And exceed all expectations in your 2022 Outlander. $31,919 or $409 a month. Plus, we build it with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So get to Gossett Mitsubishi today, 1870 Covington Pike, or shop online at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 2.79%. Mirage MH02807, MSRP 16865. Eclipse NZ03094, MSRP 26325. Outlander NZ05802, MSRP 34935. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
Farmers Insurance knows that there's a not-so-subtle difference between the sound of a car hitting your rear bumper and the sound of a clown car hitting your rear bumper.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Sorry about that.
We call that a three-ring fender bender, and we covered it. Talk to a farmer's agent.
They know a thing or two because they've seen a thing or two.
Call Chad Gatlin at 901-235-1176 or get a fast quote at memphisfarmers.com.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
At First Bank Mortgage, their core purpose is to help you get to a better place. That better place may be a lower monthly payment, that vacation you thought was impossible, or getting into a home with a fenced backyard where your kids can play. To get into your better place, First Bank Mortgage makes decisions right here at home. Dedicated to helping you get to your better place, First Bank Mortgage. Call Daniel Mooney at 901-462-0145 today. NMLS 741022. Equal Housing Lender.
Waiting for spring is one thing. Waiting for spring savings is another. At the Home Depot, you don't have to wait for either one. Our best prices of the season are here now. In-store, online, store-wide. Get a 40-volt battery-powered Ryobi string trimmer for just $159. And more savings on everything, from fresh paint to power blowers. You've waited long enough. Bring on spring. The Spring Savings Event, now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid through April 18th while supplies last.
You ready for a new ride? We Gossett at Gossett Kia Covington Pike. And Bobby J is the man to put you in a new Kia today. It's less than $5 a day. 2021 Kia Forte, $129 a month lease. $31.99 due at signing. Find your soulmate with 2021 Kia Soul. $159 a month lease, $3,099 due at signing. And 2021 Kia K5 built in America, $184 a month lease, $3,099 due at signing. All 36-month leases. Plus, peace of mind you can trust with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike. Shop 24/7 at KiaCovingtonPike.com. Ask for Bobby J. He'll put you in a new Kia today.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
36-month leases, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, Forte, ME344-837, MSRP $20,655. Sold M777-2135, MSRP $21,130. K5 MG 005560, MSRP $25,725. 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax title and license with approved credit. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Cold wet December day, we touch the ground in JFK. Snow's melting on the ground. Yes, I heard the sound of an angel.
So I mentioned, I'll talk with Aaron about the Mississippi State fans who are fully convinced that they're getting DJ Jeffries. And Mississippi State already picked up Garrison Brooks, the North Carolina transfer. Mississippi State has a chance to be pretty darn good next year.
They do.
If DJ does go there, and again, that's what everybody seems to believe, but and if he can kind of be what people thought he was going to be here at Memphis, they have a chance to be really solid.
It's amazing how quick now teams can change their fortunes. And not like Mississippi State was a bad team this past season. But all it takes is one or two players. And that's always been the case, right? Whether you're recruiting a player from high school or you're getting a junior college guy or a regular transfer, usually would have to sit out a year before everything that's happened lately. But now you can instantly grab somebody or two from the transfer portal and change the fortunes of your program at the drop of a hat.
Speaking of the transfer portal, the Boeheim collection at Syracuse is growing as little Jimmy Boeheim will transfer. He's leaving Cornell, and he will join dad and brother at Syracuse.
I'm going to assume he's not as good as brother.
Well, that's why he was at Cornell.
Or for the academics.
But he averaged 16 points and nearly 6 rebounds this year.
Look, this just in. Somebody's going to have to score for every single
I guess
program.
that would have been the 1920 season because they did that. Cornell did not. They didn't play basketball.
That's right.
This year.
That's
so
right.
The last season he played at Cornell, he averaged 16 points and nearly 6 rebounds a game.
Yeah, he's probably a good shooter. I mean, he's certainly not his brother, or I think he would be playing somewhere else. But here's the thing. There are going to be scorers for every single program. Somebody's got to score the points. So whether or not it translates into being able to score at the bigger level, we don't know until they play. And Warren's a perfect example for the Memphis Tigers. Big-time scorer at Hampton, led the conference in scoring. Will he be able to be that type of scorer at the University of Memphis? We have seen we've seen instances in the past where guys had no problem making that transition to a bigger program, better conference, stiffer competition, and still be able to do what they did at the other place. And there's others that have fallen flat on their face.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. I mean, I've talked about it many times. Like, you just don't know. Like, it is a step up in level. So when you're talking about these big time scores, I just brought it the other day with Demencio Vaughn at Ole Miss, who was a really good player at was it Ryder? Where the heck is he? Ryder.
Mm-hmm. Ryder.
And he just didn't. He had some decent games where he was a contributor. For the most part, didn't play much at Ole Miss. He couldn't. And when he was in there, he wasn't much of an offensive threat whatsoever. So he's transferring back now to Ryder for last year of eligibility. I mean, some guys, but we saw the guys for Baylor, who one from Presbyterian and one from UNC Asheville, who obviously turned out to be really good players and in very important parts of a national championship winning team. Mm-hmm. So you don't know. You have no idea for sure how these guys are going to translate when they do make that, that next step up in as far as competition is concerned. And that again goes to, for these coaches, when you're out there shopping the portal, you've got to figure that out. Like, okay, is this a guy who does translate at this level? Or is this a guy who's just a really good player at the low major level, but probably doesn't have the ability at this level?
Are there all types of sections, different sections in the portal? Is there a discount bin that you can choose from as well? Maybe get that fine that's so cheap and you get it, and then all of a sudden, man, it looks good on you.
See, I've compared the portal. I think it was actually when you're off. I think the portal is kind of like the Humane Society. Like, you walk through there and you try and find the one that makes eye contact with you. And you really you could just see, you can feel the connection. You can feel that connection. Like, this is the one. This is the one we want to take home with us. And I think that's what the portal is. Sometimes you take that one home, and it ends up not being. He's just a terror of an animal, and you're like, we can't have this. You need to go somewhere else, and so that one has to go back to the portal. So that's what the coaches walk through there, just try and make that eye contact and get a good feeling about one that looks like it can fit in your home. Sometimes
it's a bobcat, not a cat, that you're looking at.
Well, that certainly is a bad deal. That could be a real problem if you're in there adopting bobcats. But no, it's. This is going to be. Aaron talked about how the coaches don't want this. Well, no, the coaches don't want this because it makes it harder on them. Like, you now have to manage a roster where all of these guys have the ability to leave, So it is a difficult thing for coaches. I could understand why coaches are not going to like this, but they have to, because they want the freedom to leave whenever they want. They just don't want their players to have the freedom to leave whenever they want.
It extends really their year. When you think about it with football coaches, especially NFL coaches, man, they are working pretty much all year long. Yeah, there'll be time for some vacations, but they're working pretty much all year long. College basketball, college football, once recruiting's done and you kick back, relax a little bit until the next recruiting cycle happens. But now you got to be on your P's and Q's the whole time because you may be having to make a change with your roster because somebody has decided to leave. So it becomes more of a year-around job. And when I say that, I know you're working most of the time, but there is more time in collegiate sports normally than professional sports to have some time to yourself, to have your, in Penny's case, golf season and all. But now, like we just talked about, more movement, and it happens at any time. It's not just end of the season, here are the moves, replace those guys, you're set. Now you can have guys dropping middle of summer, camp opening up, during the season, anytime now. Evan Mobley.
Well, if they're going to do this, they can't drop anytime.
What's that?
I mean, if they're going to do this, use the one-time exception, they can't.
No, I understand, but I'm just talking about in general with the way athletes are today. If they don't like the direction things are going in, they're more apt to want to leave, even if it's having to sit out a year, than they are wanting to play and try to fight for more playing time or a starting job. Just this past season for Memphis, they got rid of 2 players. Was it 2 or more? 2, right? The junior college big man who hardly played, what was Ahmad Rand?
Rand and Lance Thomas.
And Lance Thomas. So in the middle of the season. And that's their decision. So players, you know that once something isn't kosher, they're out of there. I was going to mention Evan Mobley officially now has declared for the NBA draft. Not a surprise there. Currently, if you look at the draft boards, number 2 behind Caleb Cunningham. Not saying that
Cade Cunningham.
Cade Cunningham. Not saying he will go to, but he's a good chance he could. Evan Mobley is now officially on to the NBA. Will sign with an agent.
That is really shocking stuff there. Can't believe wonder how he came to that decision. Wonder how he decided that he should leave and go to the NBA.
I would have to say probably all those mock drafts that have him at number 2. He doesn't even need to be told.
We got some really good golf weather. We've got some great golf weather. We're going to have some great golf weather coming up here. And now that the Masters has gone by, a lot of folks get that bug to get out there and play some golf. If you're going to do that, you need to go by and see them at Edwin Watts for all your supplies, whether you just need some balls or gloves to get out there and play, or maybe you want to get some apparel or new shoes. Maybe you want to get some new clubs. Well, they do it all for you. They've got everything you can imagine over at Edwin Watts. All the latest stuff from all of the different club makers. You can try out clubs right there in the store, hit them in their hitting bays with the feedback from the launch monitors, compare different clubs, figure out which ones you want, then you can get fitted for clubs right there in the store as well. If you need club repair done, if you're like me, like the head of my pitching wedge just went flying off my club the last time I played. I hit a shot and the pitching wedge head just went flying. You take that over to Edwin Watts, boom, get that fixed, and they'll get you back on the road, back on the course, and ready to go once again. They're located in the Ridgeway Trace Shopping Center. It's on Poplar there between Ridgeway and 240. You got Best Buy on one end, you got Target on the other. They're in the middle next door to PetSmart. That's where you'll find Jay and the gang for all your golf needs. Go see them at Edwin Watts.
Stop hitting wedges off the cart path, man.
The funny thing is I actually it was a really good shot, but when I hit it, nobody knew where the ball went because everybody watched my club head fly. Because you could hear it whistling through the air. I'm like, what the heck was that? I'm like, it's my club head.
Jeez.
And then I was like, where'd the ball go? Everybody's like, I don't know. I was watching your club head. But it was actually a really good shot. It was just over the green. I don't know. It just came unglued and went flying through the air.
Want to remind everybody, again, who's heading over to the game tonight, you might want to check at GoTigersGo.com for information. Again, you have to wear your masks and social distancing inside the stadium. But as far as the tailgating is concerned, you have a lot going on over at the fairgrounds with the vaccinations, the Pipkin building. There's a line for that. I just saw somebody post a picture. There's the dinosaur thing I think is going on, if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot happening. So make sure you give yourself some time to get over there for the game tonight, the 7 o'clock spring game, Friday Night Stripes.
Also, what is this dinosaur thing, by the way, you keep referring to?
It's on every commercial. It's the animated dinosaurs, and you drive your car through it. So I think over by, and I haven't seen it yet, because I'm trying to figure out how I'm getting in there tonight for that. And I think I have to come off of Hollywood. to go over to where I need to park. But you have people coming off Hollywood, I think, to go to the Pipkin building, or maybe they're coming off of not Central, but Parkway. And then I think where I would normally go for a Tigers game, I would go down Southern, and I'd go through the back there where you pass the Mid-South Coliseum. I think over that area, maybe where that dinosaur thing is going on. I think it started. I see the commercials every second. So
I have not seen anything about this dinosaur thing. I have no idea.
Really? You haven't seen those? The animated dinosaurs. I think you drive your car through the darn thing. But anyway, that's going on over at the fairgrounds. It's going to be a busy time. Also, this afternoon, Memphis Tigers baseball doubleheader with the Cincinnati Bearcats. That will start at 1 o'clock over at FedEx Park. And tonight you have Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And I would imagine it is going to be some big crowds in Mississippi or in Starkville for that series. In fact, I saw where some tickets are going on sale on StubHub for upwards to $400 to $500. What?
Yeah, I don't know if Mississippi State has opened up their stadium completely for attendance or not. I don't know what they're doing right now. I don't know if they're full-fledged or if they're still putting restrictions on attendance.
So more in demand is what you're saying with those tickets, and that's why the price is up that
Could
high?
be, yeah. I don't know what Mississippi State is doing right now. I don't know if they have opened it up completely.
Yeah, Ole Miss
has.
Yeah, Ole Miss just had their series where they had over 11,000, nearly 12,000 on average per game for their 3-game series with Arkansas. We need to take one final time out. Again, apologies on not having Earl Timberlake on the show. That was all on me, not on Earl. We'll come back and wrap it up for the week. This is Middays on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 96.1 and 98.5.
Do you know who I am?
Who are you?
I'm Superfly TNT.
Johnny Radio.
Where do you want to be? 1 to 3? Right here with me. Sports 56, 98.5, 96.1 FM, Monday through Friday. This is Sports 56 Happy Hour, your good buddy Johnny Radio.
Jeff Allen, my man, what's happening over at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah?
All I can say, Randy, it's the right time to buy your new Kia at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah. I've got a 2021 Kia Forte, 41 MPG or $129 a month lease, just $31.99 due at signing. And a 2021 Kia Soul, $159 per month lease, $30.99 due at signing.
And I see you got 2021 Kia K5 built in America, $184 a month lease, $30.99 due at signing. They're all 36-month leases.
Plus our industry-leading 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty program. So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, and let's not forget Senatobia, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia Mount Moriah, 2680 Mount Moriah, or KiaMountMoriah.com.
All 36-month leases, 0 security deposit, $650 acquisition fee, Forte, ME344-837, MSRP $20,655, sold M777-2135, MSRP $21,130, K5 MG 005560, MSRP $25,725, 10,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, includes all manufacturer rebates and incentives, PF $695, excludes tax, title, and license with approved credit. Warranty is a limited powertrain warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2021. Dealer stock only.
It's happening again at Family Leisure. Don't miss out again this summer because pools are going fast. Spas in stock now too, and they're ready for delivery. New 2021 patio furniture, state-of-the-art in stock now, and up to 20% off select sets. Swing into spring with a brand new play gym, professional installation available. The temperature's rising, and so is the service at Family Leisure. Family Leisure, I-40 and Whidden Road, where family and fun come together.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wallow said hello.
The Jeep Celebration and Ram Truck Month is still going strong at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike.
check out 2021 Jeep Renegade Sport, $22,490 or $287 a month. Command the road in your 2021 Dodge Charger XST. We got it at $29,499 or $394 a month. And if you're ready for some adventure, 2021 Fiat 500X Pop all-wheel drive, $21,990 or $279 a month. And they're not leases, you own them. We got it all at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike, so drive past the rest and come to the best. 1901 Covington Pike, or shop online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Almost financed through Chrysler, all 3,500 cash down, 75 months at 4.11 APR. Renegade MPM 44,788, MSRP 26,240. Charger MH5 12,542, MSRP 32,860. 500X MP 88,7786, MSRP 26,830. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/21 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now, back to Sports 56 Middays. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Once again, the Grizzlies tonight open up a 7-game road trip in Chicago against the Bulls. Grizz at 27-26, the Bulls at 22-32, and the Bulls will be without Zach LaVine. Grizz just beat the Bulls Monday at FedEx Forum 101-90. The Grizz have played pretty well away from FedEx Forum, so I would imagine good chance to pick up a W tonight after the heartbreaker against Dallas.
Yeah, certainly a game, again, without Zach LaVine. This is a Bulls team that you should beat even when it is on the road, and be a good way to get this road trip off to a good start and try to put that heartbreaker against Dallas kind of behind them. And then we'll see, that if there's any kind of lingering effects. That's a type of game that can be hard to recover from. So hopefully the Grizzlies are able to move on and take care of business tonight in Chicago. New Life Medical Centers at 9160 Highway 64. They're open 7:30 to 5 Monday through Friday, 9 to 1 on Saturday. They offer primary and urgent care for whatever ails you. They also offer COVID testing right now. You can go on over there and get a COVID test. They've got the rapid test that gives you results in just 15 minutes. Plus many other things like testosterone replacement therapy that they do. They've got weight loss programs that they do. They treat erectile dysfunction. They've got all kinds of different stuff that they do. Just trying to make you help you feel your best. That's what they do at New Life Medical Center. You don't need an appointment to go see them at New Life Medical Center. You can go stop by 9160 Highway 64. If you need to give them a call, you can 213-0100. That's 213-0100. New Life Medical Center. Time now for one final thing.
Before Greg and Eli get out of here for the day, they each have one final thing they think you should know to make it through the rest of your day. So here are Greg and Eli with one final thing.
Three-time NBA champion Dwayne Wade has purchased an ownership stake in the Utah Jazz, joining majority owner and team governor Ryan Smith with plans to take an active role in the franchise and in the region. This goes way beyond the dream I had to just play basketball in the NBA, Wade told ESPN. I've seen Shaq do it in Sacramento. I've seen Grant Hill do it in Atlanta. I've seen Jordan do it in Charlotte. If this partnership is going to be anything like my relationship is with Ryan, there are going to be a lot of things that I'll want to be involved in. So certainly big news there with Dwayne Wade. Now you may be wondering, why not the Miami Heat? Mickey Arison, the owner of the Heat, tweeted, I want to congratulate Dwayne on his recent announcement. We had discussed having him join our ownership group after his retirement, but he was not prepared to commit at the time. Of course, I am disappointed that he didn't reconsider. Having said that, I wish him good luck and much success with the Jazz. To me, Dwayne will always be a Heat lifer.
So I mentioned yesterday that last night was the WNBA draft, and the Charlie Collier was the first overall pick by the Dallas Wings. Things got a little interesting with the fourth overall pick, apparently. Kaiser Gondrezick, who was projected by most people to be a second or third round pick, was the number 4 overall pick of the draft.
The craziness that is the WNBA draft.
Could you imagine if that happened in the NBA? Like if a guy who like all the mock drafts had as a second rounder was all of a sudden announced as the 4th overall pick? Can you imagine how how draft Twitter would lose its mind?
Oh my gosh, they would persecute that poor person.
I don't like who's
or that team.
Who's a second round pick?
Musa Cisse, no.
Here's one that I'm looking at. Okay, Sharif Cooper. He's a second. This one has him 34th overall.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if all of a sudden, draft night, with the 4th overall pick in the NBA draft, the Orlando Magic select Sharif Cooper?
Yeah, it would go implosion.
And by the way, Shams last night, breaking the 1st overall pick of the WNBA draft before the draft even started. Come on, dude. Just take a break.
Exactly.
He is a sick man for that.
We don't need you telling us who the 1st overall, breaking the news of the 1st overall pick. First of all, every mock draft had that girl number 1. I think everybody knew she was going number 1. But still, come on.
Some sad news, unfortunately, to end the show. North Texas assistant coach, former Baylor star basketball player Nelson Haggerty, reportedly died in a car accident this morning. He was married and had 4 children. That is sad, sad news. We want to thank Steven Johnson and Aaron Torres for joining us on the program today. Stay tuned. Sports 56 Happy Hour with Johnny Radio is coming up next. Enjoy Friday Night Stripes or anything that's happening in your world this weekend. We're back on Monday to talk sports starting at 10 o'clock with our next edition of Sports 56 Middays. For